Without further ado, everyone good to go?
Yes.
Ready?
Ready. All right, so last time on Icewind Dale, Brandon, Peanut, and Eden, now split from the rest of the party, decided to find a way back to rescue Bree and Ragnar. Brandon, using his tracking skills, noticed a small path leading down to a cavern. They decided to hop on Peanut's back as he was a skilled climber. On the way down, however, Eden almost fell from Peanut's back, but was saved by Brandon's quick action. Meanwhile, deep in the caverns, Bree, Boy, and Ragnar tried sneaking past 3 Crag Cats. However, they were unsuccessful, and a fight began. Ragnar and Bree used their powerful charming magic to take them down, along with some elegant kicks from Bree. As the party reunited, they decided to investigate the caverns. And inside, they noticed Garett's guide group most likely stayed in the caves until they were discovered by the Crag Cats. Ragnar, looking at the frozen remains in the ice of what looked like a dragon-like creature, decided to use his dragon-like abilities to melt the ice and acquire some bone fragments. This surprised the party, as many were not aware he had this gift. They then found what looked like an ancient shrine of some sort of dragon, and after reading the draconic description, they learned that its name was Zangorn. And as they left the caverns to continue searching, Ragnar got a strange sensation of nostalgia about the shrine. Moving forward, the party found the unconscious body of Garett. Once Eden cast Lay on Hands to heal him, he explained that his adventuring party had been ambushed by a Yeti. He wanted to go and rescue the rest of the group, but you all realized that he was in no condition to do that. So instead, you sent him on his way down along with the company of Boy. After a bit of a difficult climb, you reached another frozen cave, which had tracks leading into them. As you began to search around, you found the remains of Mokingo, the Goliath, that was traveling with Garett. After debating how much deeper you wanted to go into that cave, the party was attacked by a Yeti. The fight was going quite well. However, the group was shocked to find the Yeti's mate charging at them from the entrance. However, the party also made easy work of that second Yeti and rescued the wounded halfling Perilu. Mr. 40 damage Ragnar over there. As they were about to leave, the party met a tall paladin-like human named Viren. To the party's surprise, Viren was an old rival of Eden. He came off as a bit annoyed by the current situation, having not killed the Yeti that he had been tracking for the past few days. However, he joined the group temporarily. As they reached the peak, they found the Tiefling woman's remains frozen near a ruined campsite. Deciding to take a short rest, the party decided to make camp, and as it seemed like Viren had some questions he wanted to ask both Eden and the group. And with that, we can begin. So you guys are basically at the peak of this mountain. Just to kind of like describe the scene a little bit, with the amount of time that is taken to travel, it is officially night. The sun is out of the sky and it is dark all around you. Luckily, the multiple light sources you have, Eden's hooded lantern, the glowing moonlight blade, or of the moonlight axe that Brandon has, kind of like light the area as you kind of like take a breather for a moment. So currently, I'm assuming one of you has probably started like a fire.
Yeah.
Yep. So as you kind of like sit next to the fire, you see Viren kind of like sharpen his blade a little bit, kind of trying to like, not be awkward, I guess is the best way to describe it, to a limited success. But if you do want to ask him questions, you can. He is perfectly fine with just like eating what appears to be like his own sort of ration as he takes a seat. But it's up to you.
Brandon is just going to look this dude straight in the eye. He's just going to say, "Why are you hunting a Yeti on your own? Dangerous prey for a solitary person."
Well, and he kind of like he looks at his giant great sword, and he basically says, "Well, I have experience hunting stuff on my own, so don't be surprised. I am more capable than you give me credit for.
Ah,
But
a lone wolf.
he kind of like he doesn't know how he feels about that term, but I guess he kind of like nods and goes, to a certain extent, yeah. And he kind of does look at you, Eden, and he kind of like says, so you came up this mountain to save like these people?
Aren't they just right here with us in camp? These
Oh,
people?
he's very blatantly he's saying that in front of them.
Damn. All right, beer.
You see Perilu is like just like munching on like a piece of jerky and like almost raises her finger to say something, but then she just stays quiet. um
Uh, yes, we did. And I think it's quite noble, just as it is to make sure that and that the environment is safe for other travelers. That's why you were hunting the Yeti to begin with, right?
yes, that was why I was hunting the Yeti.
No, he specifically said he doesn't care about the weak. I recall
I don't-
vividly last time. Yeah.
he sees you, especially you, Ragnar, judging him, and he says, "Look, I'm not saying it wasn't a noble cause, and I'm glad whoever you are is safe." And just looks at Perilu and goes, and Perilu's like, "Oh well, oh I feel so appreciated right now." But you see him kind of like eat a little bit more of the food, and he basically says like, "Well, we could hunt Eden. Why don't you and me go and take care of that like Crag Cat that I've been hearing so much about? Go and take that out. That'd be something for
Sure,
us
I'm
to
pretty
do.
sure there might be only one left.
That
given
could be
that-
easy for us to handle. I will say, Eden, make an insight check with advantage.
Oh, does he just want to get me away from the rest of the group?
Possibly.
I don't trust this.
Can I
dude.
insight that too?
You can insight that too.
Yeah.
Inside
Oh.
14.
Okay. I would say, you know what? He's not the most deceptive person. Eden, you clock right away. He's looking for an excuse to talk to you without prying eyes. And Bree also picks this up.
Here's what I do. It's like I kind of look towards Ragnar and Brandon, and I just say that both of you with me now.
Alright, Brandon.
Okay.
is going to Go over there.
I don't really care. I really want to rest. If you two want to have a quiet spot, go get your own, please. I need some rest.
I say in the most blank voice, like, I need you for something, Ragnar. Are you denying my plea for help?
Kinda,
Paris
yeah,
like,
but
yeah.
yeah, we I look at Parallel and I was like, me and the rescue need some rest. So if those two want to get a quiet spot to talk, they can go for themselves. Please go.
We can
We
go
need
for a
this
walk as we go hunt this cat. That's more than fair. He kind of like he's
Yeah.
like he's not gonna like fight you on this, Ragnar,
Yeah,
although he
yeah.
really wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he will start kind of packing up his stuff. So the rest of you can continue your short rest as
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Well, what does Eden do? We just
yeah,
kinda
I was
talk
gonna, I
out
was
loud.
gonna so here's the thing. He's like he's getting ready to leave, but he's also like, did Eden did Eden catch my message?
Eden like
The hidden message. Yes.
also like takes her own blade, and as she passes by Bree, like she just pats her shoulder a little bit and says, "Thank you." But as you can see, it seems that our party's a little grumpy.
I tried.
Everyone here's a little bit grumpy, don't you think?
Peanuts kind of
suppose.
like looks at you and goes, I'm not grumpy."
Well, well, I kind of just put my hands up. Either way, stay safe.
You see, you see Viren kind of give you guys a respectable nod as you make your way down the mountainside. So you will. So just to explain a couple things. Basically, you will be actually hunting down this Crag Cat, but there's not going to be any combat. It's going to be more of an RP thing.
Sure.
So let's see as I get my notes. So as you kind of going and kind of like starting to track, so you see Viren kind of look in your direction and says, "Well, I'm surprised to see you're alive."
Why are you surprised about that? If you're alive, shouldn't I be too?
Yeah,
You're
that's.
asking
Listen, Eden. If anyone's kicking anyone's ass, it's me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
So you tried. So you tried.
He just kind of like stares at the sky for a couple seconds, and he kind of goes, well, it looks like you found yourself some heavy baggage, but you're always
Brandon,
the strong.
I'm going with them.
Oh, are you tracking them?
Whoa!
Oh,
I hear every
dude.
bang and I'm just raising an
Whoa.
eyebrow.
Okay. First off, Brandon, you need to make a stealth check.
Wait. You know, the funny thing is, I would do it too.
Oh, perfect. Great.
So
This is
I'm
what I
also
was
gonna-
expecting.
Yeah. So I have to make stealth with disadvantage because I'm wearing my scale armor.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
Oh
Oh
no! Isn't
no!
actually like looking
Stomp,
for this.
stomp.
Shit, so we'll just.
Oh my gosh, I'm also bad at this.
Oh goodness.
This is just so
It's
good.
really funny.
Yeah.
But so Eden and Viren are kind of like walking and starting this like conversation with each other, and and you see a couple snow clumps kind of fall down nearby. Eden, you clock immediately that Bree and Brandon are trying to like basically
I'm here to keep them safe just in case. I
just
don't
to
know
keep you safe,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Exactly.
yes.
And you also get the sense that like Viren knows that you guys are being followed, but at this point he's just kind of like he's accepted that this conversation is not going to be as private as he wanted it to be.
I'm not listening. Don't worry. I'm covering my ears.
I'll just call them out. Actually, I'll straight up say, guys,
Shoo.
we really want this to be private, if it's possible.
Shoo. Go.
I look towards Brandon and I'm just like, I told you they can see us.
I'm sorry, I'm not as light-footed as I once was.
It's okay. And I'm just like, I kind of just look blankly and I just say, night is a dangerous time. We'll be around, but have your conversation in peace. And we will just like slide off into the darkness.
Okay.
Dancer in the dark.
Alright.
And
I
you
mean, what
see,
does Brandon do?
but Brandon, how do you slink into the darkness with a dance?
I'm not going to dance, but I am going to shuffle back.
And
Into the
you
darkness
you
as
begin into the darkness, but you easily make your way back to the camp. And you see Viren kind of go, well, they're certainly interesting.
Pardon them. They've had a rough last few weeks.
And he kind of nods and goes, so, did you find anything yet?
I've found some rumors. And one piece, actually. One little shard.
Really? You have it?
I don't. It's with the intimidating Ragnar.
And he kind of looks at you and goes, "Okay, so why didn't you punch him in the face and take the thing from him?"
And why would I do that and risk my mind getting
Oh,
addled by
yeah,
it?
I'm assuming he's all talk, right?
Yes.
Watch him blast that Yeti away.
He kind of thinks for a moment as he looked at the corpse, and now he's like putting two and two together, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, okay. Maybe he's more than just talk. Fair enough." And kind of goes, "Well, and I haven't been successful in finding anything yet. I have a couple rumors of my own, but we're gonna have to do better than just a shard if we want to make strides back home. You know what I mean?"
I bet I'll reach it first.
And so, other than just saving these guides or whatever, like, what have you been up to? I've heard a rumor that something's going on in Targos right now.
Oh, that's us.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's really funny. He's kind of like nodding his head and going like, "I'm starting to put all the pieces together." And
Believe
one of the
me,
things
I
that,
wouldn't actually
what do
be
you mean?
helping as much as, or well, causing as much of a ruckus if not for all of these, my party mates. They're a
Well,
little bit of a. They're a little. What's the word for this? Chaotic in that way. But I think if we make waves, you know, with Chardolin being as hidden as it is, maybe I think we might disturb the snow enough that it'll show itself.
fair enough. So how are you gonna deal with this I'm assuming um okay, I don't know the full details, but it sounds like you're gonna go and deal with like the town speaker in
Yes,
Targos.
we're going to kill him.
Wait. I'm not
He
there.
kind of like raises his eyebrows like, "Really? What did he do?"
Um, apart from willingly sacrificing other humans, um, as well as accepting bribes, so that their own townspeople won't be sacrificed. Which I also assume it's he also does not want to be sacrificed, so he's rigging the entire lottery system. Uh, in my opinion, that doesn't sit right with me. He has it. What do you call this? He has
He
it.
he kind of nods. He is listening. And one of the things you've always known about Viren is that he really doesn't like authority.
Oh yeah.
And when you describe like a very like abusive use of power in this particular case, it does really rub him the wrong way. So you get the sense that he's kind of understanding of why you're doing this. And he
But
just
don't
says,
worry, we're not going to get our hands fully bloodied. We're just going to make sure that the townspeople want to do that.
he kind of thinks for a moment and goes, "All right. I was gonna say you're the kind of person to get easily distracted, but yeah, I think that guy deserves to kind of get his ass kicked."
Really pissed me off when I saw one of the poor victims inside uh, a locked cell writing his last few letters to his family. He accepted it, while the poor person who bribed the entire lottery just runs free.
Well, and you see, it's almost like he had like a very different plan of like what he was going to do, but he basically says like, "Look, I can at least travel back with you guys to Targos. I don't know if I'll be staying there because I gotta follow some leads. I do know
Follow some leads too.
I might." And you see, he's kind of also a little bit like he doesn't want to tell you everything because it's also a little bit of a race to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he does say, "I'll be heading east. There's some leads I want to pick up on, but I can at least travel with you guys to Targos. I don't mind doing that, I guess. Word of advice, though, I've been traveling the wilderness. Keep your head down if you see a giant riding on a mammoth. Because,
That sounds.
yeah, I bumped into him, and let's just say, and you know, like I said, he only shows weakness in front of you. I definitely did not think I was going to win that fight. And I wouldn't want you
You were
to.
hurt badly?
It's- I may have got a couple scrapes and bruises. I'm not. You know me. I don't like running away from fights. And he's like, he gets really frustrated with that fact. But it's like, it was a fucking giant on a mammoth, man.
Yeah, I get it. And but like Eden tries to like lean a little bit closer and just scan his body.
Yeah,
However close it may be
you
for
can
like
just make a
any.
you can just make a medicine check for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. Just a 12.
As you kind of like inspect, kind of like just what you can see on his body, he doesn't seem like he has any scrapes or bruises or anything like that. It seems like if he had taken any damage from like this sort of fight with the giant, it was very like minimal at most. But he does kind of like recoil a little bit as you've entered his bubble for a second, and he's like, well, anyway, I'm fine, Eden. You don't have to worry about me. I'm just saying that, look, if you're traveling the wilderness, which, let's be realistic, you and I are both are going to be doing, just watch out for that thing, all right? It's not a fight that even. If I am saying I wouldn't be able to win that fight, I'm saying that you would obviously have a lot of trouble. I'm not. I'm not saying you're not a trained warrior or anything.
I'm saying I could take
it. He's just like, he's putting his hands at his. Oh, God. You are going to freaking get yourself killed one of these days, Eden. I
One
swear
of
to
these
God.
days, but not today.
Yeah, not today. Anyway, let's go find this Crag Cat, and we can go and start making our way down this godforsaken mountain. And as you kind of like follow him for a moment, you do end up like finding the Crag Cat. You easily dispatch of it. And as you kind of are fighting, you do see that he is still as well trained with this giant sword as he's always been. He is very, very capable, and if anything has shown improvement. Now, granted, is he as good as you? Probably not. But you don't necessarily need to tell him that. But
I think that I wouldn't be as good with a great sword either. So I'm gonna just tell him that what do you call this?
Yeah, as Viren is like, oh yeah,
compliment him a little bit.
he kind of like has like a prideful smirk as you kind of talk about them. It's like, well, you really gotta like get used to the balance of the blade, and like you like this.
Yeah, I'll let him mansplain a little bit.
And he kind of goes on a bit of like a dude bro tirade about like the proper mechanics of holding the sword and stuff like that. But you make your way back to the group, and as you do,
Wait. I will
yes.
say that before we fully go, I'll tell him also. I really appreciate that you're looking out for me. If you ever need help, you can always find me.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. And he doesn't want to like show off that like familiarity and friendliness. But he's just like, like let's just try not to embarrass me in front of your friends.
They are my friends. They're very good people.
Mm-hmm. So as he makes their way up the mountainside, so the only thing I will say before we continue, Justin, I think
Huh?
my mic is giving feedback on your end, so I
Oh,
can
my
hear
bad.
myself. I can hear
My
myself
bad.
talking.
Hold on.
Sorry, it's like I would only bring
all
it
good.
up just because like
Yeah, it's all good.
I find it very hard to talk when I can hear myself talk back
It's
to
all
myself.
Yeah.
it's all good. My headphones are quite loud, so it's probably like leaking. So yeah, go ahead. I turned you
Okay.
down.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. But you do return to the campsite. Ragnar, you're like, I'm not getting involved with any of this.
Nope. Taking some rest with the rescue. That's all I do. Yep.
Yeah.
I
So
noticed
now
he's- now-
them
Okay.
two sneaking out. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
They
I
can
want
do
to talk to
whatever they
Brandon a little
want.
bit on the way back. I want to talk
yeah,
to
yeah,
Brandon a little bit on the way back. I look at Brandon and I just say like, it's great that Eden has friends outside of our group. Looks like they have a really good friend by their side.
She's a free woman. Ragnar just.
Ragnar, you're
yelled.
busy. You're in the camp. You're miles away.
Oh, okay.
Fred,
Yeah. I thought they were already outside. so I
Apparently, he
was like-
looks at you and goes like, "Who are you talking to?"
Ragnar.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just making sure he's not luring her out into the wilderness to
Nope.
kill her and then come back and say, "Hey, yeah, can I speak with you out in the wilderness?" You know, totally.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
But yeah, what does Brandon say? Like, I just say like,
yeah, I'm
"Wow,
curious
it's-
what is Brandon's response as as Bree kind of like makes that comment about Viren?
Yeah. Brandon is just going to nod his ponderous head, but he's not really going to say much.
Mm,
Mm.
he's still contemplating things.
Yes.
All right. Well, luckily you all returned safely. No blizzards, not right now anyway. So now the big question that I have to ask the party is: are you guys gonna stay the night on the top of the mountain? Because right now it is night.
Yeah.
Or are you gonna make your way down the mountain just right away?
Not in the dark.
Not in the dark.
Not in the
Nope.
dark.
Mm-mm.
I have a heat cube, so we can stay pretty warm up here anyway.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
still have the half destroyed campsite. We can just make do, I guess.
Yeah, like honestly,
Yeah.
like that's the thing is that you kind of clear like the refuse, and
Yeah.
you can kind of, and you honestly, Ragnar, you also have mending, so you can actually kind of like
Yeah.
fix
Fix
this
some of
campsite a
it,
bit.
and I can just we can just take the stuff to the cave because we already cleared it out. So
Oh, that's true. Do you want to just like make a tent on the peak, or do you want to like go down into the
Well,
cave and set up a camp
I
there?
believe it wasn't that far, right? Last time we went, the road trip is what, like an hour or something?
Yeah,
or less?
it's fine.
Yeah,
That should be
so-
a fine like easy trek
Yeah,
for sure.
so I would suggest like we just take the stuff that we can repair and go to the cave, so less blizzard, in case blizzard hits. At least we're in the cave,
All right, so you make your way down to the cave, and that is going to be an easy long rest.
Yeah.
So you got get your HP back, get your spells back, all that fun stuff.
Yay! Didn't take a hit.
And I'll say for the purposes of this, as because it's the day, and along with Brandon's ranger skills, you are easily able to make the descent.
By the
So
way,
as you continue,
because
oh
the
yes,
axe beak was hit really hard last time, so that it ran away. Did we find it?
well, so as you go to the bottom of the
Yeah.
mountainside, you do see um the snow dogs. You see what appears to be Garett, the furbolg, kind of like like near a fire. Looks like he was cooking up some food for the morning.
Nice.
And he kind of sighs a relief, just like knowing that like hey, you guys survived, because he wasn't sure how that was gonna go.
Yep.
You see Perilu kind of like walk over and start talking to him. Ydin, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh my god!
I knew what's coming.
Green
Yes.
buff.
Oh no.
Green puff.
Oh no.
Charge.
three.
Yeah,
Oh no.
Green Buff immediately charges you and with just the happiest smile. Like,
I
Yeah.
fall
nice.
face first into the snow.
you see for a second, Viren had his hand up with to grab his blade because he has no idea about Cream Puff, but then he
Yeah.
kind of slowly puts it down.
I just have my sketchbook out. I'm just sketching in my book.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Cream
Cream
Puff.
Puff seems super happy, and he does kind of like a little happy like bird dance, and he kind of like flutters his like little wings around, like, and he does
Boy,
kind.
right? Good job.
You see one of the dogs in the background go, kind of like, well,
There.
and you see Cream
The
Puff.
dog's
kinda
so
looking at-
convincing.
Yeah.
I can make barks in the background. It's easy. It's a DM power.
Should I mute? Sorry, they're very
No,
loud.
it's
No,
actually
it's so
really
cute.
funny.
It's so on point.
Considering the fact that there's actually like
It's more
6
immersive this way. It's
Yeah.
immersive this way.
There's 6 dogs in this scene technically. So.
Yeah.
But as you kind of like start packing up, I will say you can begin, if you want to just go, you can begin your journey back to Targos.
We're doing that. We're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it is going to be a bit of a trip, and you have a lot of people with you now because you've got Garett. You do have Garett did spend his time at the bottom of the mountainside to fix up his like sled, and he's also hooked up all the sled dogs. Luckily, the sled dogs actually stayed because
Yay.
Ragnar rolled a good animal
Yeah.
handling check. So I'm gonna say that this is going to make this this travel like pretty straightforward. It is going to still take a day. It's still going to take 8 hours of like solid travel. So you will still be rolling on the random encounters during this travel. But you have a really good pace. So who wants to roll a d20 for me?
Well,
Well.
wants to do it. They can do it.
I'm doing it.
Do it.
17.
17.
Nice.
All right. Let's check here. Okay. Clear skies and nothing of note. It is a easy travel day. It's almost as if like the weather has cleared up a little bit. And after another successful 8 hours of travel, you return to the town of Targos.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, on our travels there, I do want to ask Viren something.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I look at him and I just say, "How was the hunt?"
It was fine. We took the thing out, and at least there won't be any more Crag Cats hunting adventurers up there, at least for now.
Congrats.
Why-
It was a big softie.
Your claim to glory
I am
has
not.
been
you
taken.
The second Ydin you say that, it's like Ydin, I'm not a big softy. What did we talked about embarrassing me?
I just clap and I'm just like, "You have earned glory."
Yes.
Wait, when you clap, is this just like
Slow
a
clap.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You-
It's like a golf clap, like a very polite like golf clap, like "You have earned glory."
I don't know
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I think he is just gonna sieve quietly as he doesn't like he doesn't know how to feel about that praise.
I
or
also
that-
look at Eden and I just say like, you two, you have earned additional glory.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
See, so many people recognize how good you are.
Yay,
Yeah.
glory!
Oh, how
yay.
I love.
Dude. Yay, well done. Yay. Yeah. So good. 2 people killing a solo Crag Cat. So great. So wonderful. Yes. Awesome.
And you see,
You know,
Viren
Ragnar,
kinda-
if I kind of just say like, I kind of just say plainly, it's like, yeah, and I kind of look towards Ragnar and just like, I must remind you, you were holding my hand to get out of the cave with 3
I
great
can't
cats.
see shit. You can't blame me. I don't have dark vision.
Yeah,
and you see as this conversation continues, Viren kind of looks at you eating, goes, friends. Right? These are your friends. Okay. But you do successfully make
Hey,
your way back.
I will say also,
Oh, yes.
don't judge my friends. You're one of them.
Ooh. Friendship.
Well, we made it in one piece, and he kind of like he doesn't want to respond to that, but you know that he heard it. But you are back in the safety of Targos, and immediately Garett is going to be making a beeline for obviously his husband's place,
Nice.
along with Boy and the rest of his sled dogs. And you kind of like follow, like just to kind of like make sure that he doesn't get lost. But you do see him like immediately like approach the door. The door opens, and it's a very loving embrace as the two of them are finally reunited. And Gareth just come back over and he says, I owe you guys my life. I can't begin to even thank you enough for what you did.
Well, we did get sort of reward, so
Oh,
mention
and you see Garrett's husband say like, oh, yes, I actually have something for you. And he does give you guys, you do get a little bit of a quest reward. You do get, you get about, I'd say he's not the richest person, so I would say you get about maybe, there's 4 of you. I'd say about maybe like 5 gold pieces each.
okay.
sure.
I'll take what I get.
But more importantly, he does pull out a scrimshaw mask that you believe might be a magic item.
Ooh. Okay.
So he does offer that to the party.
Okay.
So if anyone wants a cool magic mask, feel free to take it.
Does anybody else want it?
Like, what does it look like? Like, what does the mask like?
Yeah.
What's it made of? What is it?
I might be able to get a picture of it.
All right.
Maybe not the
No, it's fine.
the item.
I'll look at Brandon and says, if you want it, you can have it.
I'll take it.
All right. That was quick.
Yeah, basically they have about it's hard for me to find a picture, but basically it's like a bone mask that has like almost like the way it's designed, it's like it's got like 2 tusk like protrusions that go down to kind of cover the face, almost like a walrus.
Nice.
Um,
I kind of know what it looks
and-
like. Huh, interesting.
And one of the things, if you guys want to, now you have a little bit of like breather, you can actually take the time to inspect the magical items that you collected. Because if you recall, Brandon, you picked up some snazzy boots.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
also
I will
have
just
boots.
say,
Nice.
if you just take the time, I won't require any checks. But Brandon, you kind of take a look at the boots, and you figure out that these are called knocking boots, and these steel-toed boots of dwarven make are adorned with an embossed key on the toe. As an action, you can kick an object that contains a mundane or magical means of preventing access to cast the knock spell.
Kick the door in.
Wow.
Nice.
For
Once-
nothing.
Talk about
So-
kicking the door in.
It's literally like I don't want to deal with this door. Boosh.
Yes.
So you literally have a nice kick the door in magic item. So I will add that to your journal. You can see that now.
Question: Does the knock spell also deal damage if it kicks someone person? I don't think
No.
so. Right?
Probably not.
No,
no.
not in this case. I might say that if you kick somebody, you do like improvised damage, but like
Yeah.
in
But not
most
the-
cases, this is going to be useful. It's like if there's a door that's giving you a lot of problems, you could be like, "Fuck you,
Fuck it.
door."
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's gonna be loud.
Um,
So yeah.
It is going to be loud.
And what does the mask
and
do?
so and Brandon, you're also picking up the mask as well, correct?
Yes.
Well, if Bree
Okay.
and Eden's not taking it, I'm just saying.
It's up to
like,
you guys.
You guys can have it. I don't really.
I
need
don't.
the mask,
I don't have a
guess.
Bree doesn't have a particular want for it because, like, if it's the only like types of items you'd really want are like anything that is elvish or her tribe's stuff, you know.
Or related, for sure.
Yeah. If it's not that, then Bree doesn't really have much of a want for it.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's up to you, I guess, Eden, if you wanted the mask or not. I guess you know what? Why don't I describe what it does first,
Yeah.
and then you can decide. So this Scrimshaw mask lets out a deep, sonorous ring when struck. When you are reduced to 0 hit points or fail a death saving throw while wearing the mask, the nearest 3 enemy creatures within 30 feet must succeed a DC Wisdom saving throw or take 2d12 necrotic damage.
Oh,
The property has no effect on creatures who aren't missing any hit points or deafened. If you are healed or stabilized after falling to 0 hit points, the mask can't be used again until the following dusk. So it's kind of like when you get knocked down or you take a death save, you can potentially
You can
do like
siren
some
scream the
AoE
others.
damage.
Yeah.
You can do some AoE damage, which is pretty cool because that might save you in the sense where it's like if they're about to do the coup de grace,
Yeah.
you might be able to just like. Poof. So it's up to you. Brandon, does that interest you or anyone else in the party?
I'll keep it. I'll hold on to it, but otherwise it really doesn't interest me. I'm not wearing a creepy walrus death mask.
Fair enough. I'm gonna put it in your inventory if you want to, like.
I have it in my inventory as death mask.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's called the Dead Ringer, but you do have that.
yeah, that's not my dead ringer. I'm sorry.
All right,
My
so
day we used a pocket watch.
yeah,
yeah,
we leave a
all
body
that-
behind and become
Yeah,
invisible.
all that clockwork tech you've got, Brandon.
If
Also-
ever, then can I? If you're not gonna use it, I'll just keep it on. Can I keep it in my person and I'll put it
Sure.
on when need be? Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. All right, I'll
I
add
will
it to
remove
your.
the dead ringer. There we go.
There we go. You should be able to see it under magic items. And
okay.
for you, Ragnar, you're still working on that
Yeah, I'm
project
still
of
working on the
yours.
project, yeah.
But it is starting. You remember you collected a bunch of useful materials on the mountainside, so that progress
by
is
the
going to
way-
start making it.
Yeah, by the way, I'm also like taking the fur from the Yeti, just saying. Because last time
Yeah,
we
I
did it,
believe you
yeah,
did say that you had
Yeah.
cut the fur.
cut the fur from the Yeti. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
That will add to the description once you fully completed this.
GM, can I actually do something? Like, I know you kind of move straight to identifying and like furthering the thing, but can I do
Oh.
something before we leave the two?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
I sneak back my share of the reward. I'll give them back 5 gold.
Aw.
You see, Garett is. It's funny.
I sneak it back. I sneak it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sneak it back.
Stealth, sleight of hand,
And-
quick.
You know what? Make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
sneak it
saying
back.
he's gonna stop you, but this is more okay.
Nice.
Both of them don't even notice. Like I was gonna
sneak
say,
it back, and then I leave a letter. Like, use it for yourselves.
Aw.
Nice. Oh, by the way,
but yeah,
I took the
see.
token from Garett as well. So that was for identifying his mate. So I'll just get the token back to him. So it's like, yep.
Oh,
here's
okay.
your
Well, he
token.
easily takes that.
Yeah.
But you do get the sense that the two of them are gonna like rest up for the evening. Boy kind of curls up by the fire nearby, and Yeah, you two successfully reunited them. Perilu, the halfling who you did save, also kind of says like she's gonna be on her way. She doesn't really have much of a reward, but she does say that if you guys are ever in Tourmaline, because that's where she's going next,
Oh, okay.
that she's more than happy to help you guys out with what she can.
Of course.
So just bear that in mind. But after returning to the town of Targos, you do get to continue some downtime. Now, I want to say a couple things that I think are going to be important for the last 2 weeks of the downtime. So you do know that the quote unquote Judgment Day is coming, the day that they have to make the sacrifice, right? The big thing is you have started to gain a good amount of renown. Saving Gareth is a fantastic way of like already some of the townspeople are starting to talk about this, right? So you may want to start planting the seeds of like this. How do I put this? This sort of like taking down like this corrupt town speaker, like because right now nobody knows that Nerif's been up to anything at this point, right? You've kept those cards close, right? But if you want to actually on the day of like Judgment to bring this up to the people and they have to have a meeting and stuff like that and to make your play, then you kind of need to start like setting things up in that regard. So that might be something to consider.
Yeah.
But other than that, if there's any other things for the week 3, if you want to do, now would be the time to ask.
I am not big on politics, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of shopping. I will be
Ooh,
Okay.
messaging you quietly about what I'm looking for,
okay.
and we will go from there.
All right, fair enough. There is a
in the
shop
meantime-
that you can go.
Yeah. In the meantime, GM, you know how in Baldur's Gate 3 you go back to camp and there's like a dialogue on top of
Nice.
your companion?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. For the week, I would like to describe that Bree has just been out of it, like, and has been like mostly been wandering around just with their sketchbook, looking. Weirdly enough, like like there's a difference from before where Bree was just kind of like neutral. Now they just kind of look a bit like wistful,
Okay.
Mm,
I would say Bree. I would like you to just make just a general history check as you're walking around the town.
16.
16. It's interesting. Just picking up the general like the vibe of the town and like sort of like some of the people coming together and like working towards like just the survival and the advancement of this town. It does fill you with a little bit of familiarity with stuff from your past. It's hard to pinpoint specifics, but what's important is that you are writing in this sketchbook and you feel like with just a little bit more time, you might be able to make a breakthrough on some of the haziness. But you do feel like the fog is starting to part. You feel like you're starting to like get a better grasp, and anything that journal that you're writing and just these observations that you're taking is going to help with that process.
Yeah, I think that's good. And generally, though, Bree is just kind of like reminiscing of time long past, especially because I think she was just reminded of those things because of the two. I forgot their names. Sorry, you know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
know who you're talking about for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So as
So
you
who
kind
wants
of...
to trigger the dialogue, guy?
Viren walks over and goes, "Hey."
All right, hey, I'm fine with Viren. I'm fine with anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone, I guess if you know what, Viren might end up wanting to talk to you. It's up to either Ydin, Ragnar. I'm gonna assume Brandon's got his own like little shopping quest he's up to. So this is
Yes.
kind of up to if Ragnar or Ydin want to kind of like look at the text prompt over Bree's head.
It can be multiple people. I don't really mind. Just
Yeah.
putting it out there.
It's up to you. I'm just throwing that out there to
Yeah.
Ragnar and Ydin if you notice
Yeah.
Bree walking around the town.
Well, okay. I will describe what I'm doing first, so to see if we interact.
Okay.
So Ragnar, like we mentioned before, he is gonna work on the project to finish it. That's the first thing. Second thing will be he, like you said, he is trying to, we're trying to get the townspeople to help us to overthrow the townspeople. So he will try to every day, snuck out, do a disguise self, then snuck out, and try to become different person, to mimic other
Oh.
people's behavior
Okay.
and to spread the rumor about like what's up with all the
Okay.
the people getting the wrong. It seems a little bit off. We never
Like
know the
you're
result of the
planting the
vote.
seeds of Nerev's shady behavior.
Yeah. Yes. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing. And
I will
okay.
say. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go for it. What are you?
I would say just make a persuasion check,
All right.
and we'll say that this is how you spend a good chunk of this week.
Yeah. So
is
I
getting
don't
that
know
started.
if I have the proper time. Maybe I'll
You will
pass
have the
by-
proper time to work on your
No,
magic item and
not
do
the
both.
project. When we mentioned about Bree's, interaction. So I don't know if I have the time. Maybe when I'm going out, I see her, staying in the corner.
I'm just giving you the option, Ragnar. It's like
So-
if you want to bump into Bree, you can. You don't
Okay.
have to, but you
Okay,
can.
Persuasion first. I will use luck. That's
Okay.
terrible. Okay, 21.
Okay, 21. That's a lot better.
That's more like it.
As you kind of like disguise and take on this mask of many faces,
Yes.
you feel pretty confident that people are starting to
Have doubts.
question things. And I will probably talk to you and talk to the group after we do the thing with Bree about what you actually pick up with that persuasion check.
All right. Cool. So.
But I will say, as you're working on that, then Ragnar, I guess it would just be Ydin. If you want to bump into Bree, that's up to you. If not, I think Viren might actually go and talk to Bree.
Yeah.
I would actually love to bump into Bree, but then I also want to help with the planting seeds of doubt thing.
You know
do
what?
want that to be
I will say you could attempt to do both. But I will ask for you to make a persuasion check specifically.
Of course. I will.
Man, I'm not even helping at all. I'm just too busy like
You're just idle.
You're working on your self health.
yeah, guy, I gotta put myself first, guys. Mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
You have 21 already. We have 2 other charismatic people. I'm fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe in you, Ydin.
I will say that the way that Ydin goes about this is that she goes to specifically the families who have lost someone to the lottery.
Oh,
Mm,
okay.
And then I'll
That's
start
good.
saying stuff like, "Isn't it weird how some families don't seem to be targeted? Some people, how come it's been so many years and yet it's been so many months and yet certain people never seem to get hit."
Mm-hmm.
I will allow you to make a persuasion check, not with advantage, but with a +2 modifier in this case, because you are picking the specific people to talk to.
Persuasion, please.
Nice.
17, respectable. At first, there's that worry of like bringing up like old lost ones from a complete stranger is like it's a heavy topic for some people, but you just have that naturally disarming aura to you, which throws people off to say the least. But you definitely start to get them to question. They start to think about the circumstances of the lottery, and
Sorry,
Oh.
a bee called Beer.
Yeah, no worries. And but as Eden kind of like does that and kind of like spreads the you get the sense like as a group you are setting a really good stage for this toppling this tyrant, to say the least.
Uh, sorry. Can I actually do like I know since people have been doing like two things. Can I do like one thing as well as my
yeah,
dialogue? thing?
I will allow it for sure.
It's nothing too crazy. I'm not actually gonna like go around setting it up. I actually kind of just wanna visit the I forgot this name, but the designated sacrifice
Oh, that's Calvin.
and Calvin. Yeah, I just wanna visit him like every so often within the week to like play music for him. You know, ease his worries, kind of be a be a person to hear him out. You know, and like talk
Yeah.
to him normally. Just provide company, basically.
I will say you actually by doing that you do learn a little bit about him. You know, he kind of like talks to you about some of the things that how he actually used to be a man of the cloth. Like he used to be sort of like a priest.
Of which god?
Lathander.
Lathander. Oh.
And
yeah, okay.
he retired many years ago, and he ended up traveling. He actually used to live in Brinshander, but then he moved to Targos. He doesn't go into the details as to why he made that move, but he seems like he is a man who has had a lot of experience with people, and you kind of put together that like maybe his faith is part of the reason why he's kind of had this like little bit of acceptance of his fate. That maybe like just that part of his life has kind of helped with such a haunting set of circumstances that he finds himself in. I'll say for the purposes of this, the other thing that I'll let the party also consider, as you guys are starting to talk about like, you know, planting the seeds of like doubt, the big question is after all this said and done, after Nerif is, you know, taken out, whether it be via words or via the sword, the big thing is who is going to be the new
Hello.
town speaker.
Yay.
And
Hello.
you may want to consider some of the NPCs that you've had interactions in the town as to who might be a candidate. And that thought does cross your mind, Breeze. Like, could Kelvin be a good leader? Is he the kind of person that would be able to lead a town if he was given us another chance? You don't know, but it's something to consider. But as you give him that bit of comfort, you do see Ydin and Viren kind of show up just outside one of the jail cells. It seems like they had been walking together, at least for the time. So they do bump and hit that floating learn more.
Uh, oh, hello. I didn't expect to see you two and around the cells. I was just visiting Calvin once again.
Ah, well,
Viren,
you seem to be very fond of him in particular.
Well, it's I for someone that has been sentenced to death, I figured that there should be some amount of comfort to those that will depart. Especially if it seems like no one else shall accompany him until his final moments.
Very sweet.
Viren kind of nods. Yeah, it's a nice thing you're doing, I guess.
I don't see it as nice. I I don't know. I see it as just something natural to do.
Viren kind of looks at you, Bree, and kind of says, like, so I'm trying to put together like this Eden's band of misfits, but you I can't figure out. You definitely have an aura of mystery I can't put my thumb on.
I don't know what you mean.
I know exactly what you mean, Viren. She also surprises me. Doesn't she? She doesn't seem like the fighting type. No, she dances all the time, and yet for some reason she gets her hands bloody sometimes.
Is
Occasionally,
she's a dancer?
she's a good dancer. Yes, she is.
She's a monk.
It is the way that I channel my magic. The weave. It pulsates in the world, and as I dance, I go along with that beat. And with it, I can cast magic.
He kind of like looks at you for a moment because wait a second. Are you the dancer in the dark?
Uh,
The what?
You have a
The
title?
What?
I I have a title.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I've been traveling the last little while and I bumped into a couple people and they've talked about this like silhouette that wanders the wilderness of Icewind Dale. And in particular, they say that she dances a deadly dance when fighting her foes. I mean,
hmm.
that sounded like a bunch of bullshit, no
Malarkey.
offense, but malarkey works too.
Well, I did wander for the past decade, and two, I do dance, and three, within my travels, I have fought several creatures. Um, it wouldn't be too far fetched if I am your dancer in the dark.
Huh. He kind of like he gives you a bit of a little bit of respect because he does value power, but he does value renown. And at first he was like, "Oh, this is just Eden's like weird friend," and goes, "Oh no, you actually have there's you have a lot of like weight behind you, like as far as like power and renown goes that maybe he didn't initially see." Um, and as he kind of like contemplates that, he kind of goes, "Well, if you are the dancer in the dark, then it's pretty damn impressive."
Mm, I
She's over there.
well, if you think it is so, then I say thank you. It is simply what I do and what I must do.
You see Viren kind of whisper to you, Eden. Yeah, I still can't get a read on her. like
Neither
like
can I.
yeah, it's really funny because I like the idea that both Viren and Eden just have so much trouble like figuring you out, Bree. You are like you are an
I look at
enigma.
them without like really thinking much about social cues. Bree kind of just then says like, "It's quite a shame. Your conversation last when we were traveling around. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but it would have been a great sketch on my book.
You were listening?
Not listening. However, two alone people walking alone in the dark in a beautiful night within the snow reminds me a
Well,
bit of my
you know
past."
what? I think I should go for a walk. And you see Viren
Why
like immediately,
embarrassed?
Viren like immediately starts walking away. He's like, yeah. The second you said that, Bree, he was like, he puts the mask back on. Well, I better go and
I'm gonna
find
like
some.
hold him by the back of his like neck. Stay here.
Mm,
You
he
should
kind of
let
he
him
stops.
go. It's like, I think that will serve him the best. It looks like we shouldn't force him to stay if he wants to leave.
And
And you see him like he is very very like he has a mess of emotions right now. And he's just like, look, it's nothing. It's we just went hunting for a cat. All right.
Yes, you were just hunting for a cat. That I do not question. I am just saying that it was a scene that reminds me of memories long gone for me.
Oh yeah? Like what?
When I used to walk with my husband.
Oh, you had a husband? But you're so young.
She then just says like, not. I'm an elf. The last time I saw
Right.
him was. Let me double check the chart. Uh, I think 180 years ago.
And you've
You
only had
see,
the one?
Only the one.
Oh.
I been thinking about him much more lately ever since we reunited the two.
Garrett and his husband.
And yeah,
Interesting.
Garrett and his husband.
Oh,
Reminds.
don't mind me. I just came out for a breather.
Yeah,
Just keep your story.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like yes. I kind of just then say like I was talking about my husband
Yeah, I
and
heard.
how Garrett and his reminded me of him.
Pretty cool.
Viren also chimes in and goes, "So you were married?"
I was.
More importantly, where's your
don't-
husband?
We separated more than 100 years ago.
By separated,
it a
you
good
mean
separation?
he's
Amicable?
he's ran from the house. He's like going on a venture.
I-
He's passed.
I don't know much of his fate because we were in danger. They were in danger because of me, and as you can tell, my origins is not quite, well, normal. I come from one of the Reged tribes.
The hold on.
Oh.
Okay, Dia, I request checks. I don't know what
I would
I
say
play
for
out.
those who are part of this conversation, which that would be Bree and Ragnar, you can make history checks.
All right, cool. Probably terrible, but let's see. It's 6. Yeah, I have no clue. Ragged tribe. What's a ragged tribe? Is that like the music, the ragged? You know?
Oh
I
yeah,
don't-
You-
the reggae.
I would say honestly, like you guys have a cursory knowledge. Now it's actually really interesting because you guys are both born on the very far western fringes of Icewind Dale. So this kind of actually makes sense that you don't know a whole lot. You know that the Reggae tribes are nomadic. There are four in particular: the elk, the tiger, the wolf, the bear. You have a cursory knowledge that some have are more welcomed than others, but that's about it.
Hold on.
Well, it's okay.
Aren't those barbarian tribes? I don't have much, knowledge of it. But
You are right, yes. It seems those that live in towns would like to call them barbarians, but we are men and women, elves, humans of the tundra, where it's
Okay.
children.
okay.
There are four different tribes. There's the wolf, the bear, the tiger, and the elk. I came from the wolf. And there was a conflict between my clan and theirs, and they wish to hunt me down. Even all the centuries passed, and they endangered my family. So the separation lies in me making sure they stay safe.
Oh,
Okay. Question.
it's very
So,
unfortunate.
if they are hunting your tribe, not just you, wouldn't it be safer to stay with the tribe? Strength in number and all that?
I think I'm the only one left.
Wait, what?
Oh,
They caught up to us, and I don't know who else was able to scatter it. The night's quite. The moon. Sorry, I'm losing my words. It's not the night I would like to remember, but basically, I don't know who else from my family is still alive or my clan.
Okay.
They've long passed hundreds of years ago.
have you ever tried to return to the spot you were separated? You know,
That's what
tracks?
I'm looking for now. It's been so long. That's why I'm trying to remember. That's why I'm trying to venture again
Okay.
to find where we were
Oh,
hunted down.
oh no.
Wait, what? What you
So
did?
that's why when we
When we
When
so that's
you
why
go
when
on,
we had that argument,
I
you
can't pick up your words.
when we had that argument, um, you said that I, family and you can't go back. Is that? Oh, I fucked up. I'm so
there's
sorry.
you didn't know, and well, I could have said it. I just didn't think to. It was just normal to me, I guess. Um, a reality that I've long accepted. So, don't worry. You've apologized already, and I've accepted it.
Okay, so which tribe attacked you? You know
The
that,
wolf
right?
tribe,
Oh, so
my
both of
own.
them.
No, no, no.
I've thought about it.
I mean the tribe that attacked
So-
your tribe, the wolf. But I thought you
Yes.
said you were from
So
the wolf.
there. Yes, I'm from the wolf, and I guess I barely remember why, but I came from a clan within the tribe,
Okay.
and something about our clan did not sit well with the tribe, and they hunted us down for it.
Huh.
I don't remember the details. My father did. Maybe I did as well, but that was a long time ago.
Oh,
Hmm.
We were just on the run from our own kinsmen.
Okay. Memory loss isn't really that, you know, well known in the elves, but okay. Consider
I
how
Well,
mean,
much.
if you live
Ragnar,
for
Okay.
Ragnar, I will also say like this is a passive thing,
Yeah.
and I would say you would know this. You're relatively intelligent. You also know that like the memories of elves tend to get hazy as time passes by,
Okay.
and it could be on a base by base. Like different people have like different amounts of like memory recall.
Okay.
But this isn't exactly uncommon.
Okay.
Like this has been known to happen. Just as a point of reference.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I guess that does happen to some people. Well, consider how much trauma you've been through. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
it makes sense.
I suppose, but at some point I do want to reconnect with what was lost. And I have a lot of people to remind me because, well, you have Brandon, and there's you two. I point towards Viren and Eden.
Viren is like what's interesting is that Viren he's been pretty respectful
Mm-hmm.
of you talking about this. Like he hasn't really made any snide remarks or anything about that. He's just been kind of listening. But you also get the sense that Viren is like he doesn't know how he should respond. Because he also doesn't pick up on social cues to a certain extent. Like there's certain things that he struggles with. Yeah. It's a bunch of so socially awkward people in this party.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Viren doesn't socialize. Basically, that's it.
But Viren does say, yeah, that does seem like a lot to carry with you.
Hmm. Well,
Well,
I don't see it as
so
carrying.
where was your tribe? You know, like maybe if we travel, to that distance, to that location, we can help you find it
I think it was around the east.
around the east.
That's what I
Okay.
remember. However, we can take our time with it. We have other more pressing concerns than my past, and you have done more than enough to help me. I feel a bit lighter explaining this to people other than myself. That I can thank you all for.
We'll always be here if you ever want to talk about more.
That's
And
pretty.
Viren, didn't you say But you were going east.
I did.
Would you mind keeping an ear out for anything about the Reged tribes? The wolf tribe in particular.
He kind of thinks for a moment and he says, "Yeah. Like, I can't promise I'll find much, but I mean, like, if I do hear anything that might be of interest to you, Bree, I'll try and send a message in what way I can."
Attaboy.
I follow up that one with a 2. I say like, "Yeah, yes, you are actually quite nice."
Okay, enough of that. You know what? I'm going. I gotta go take a walk. He doesn't like friendly conversations.
Somebody's
What is this?
right.
Get me out of here.
Yeah.
But Viren actually does take a minute to. You think the comments you made about the about him and Ydin, along with the very real emotions that you know just displayed, Bree, about your past, is thrown him in a bit of a tizzy. So he's gonna go and find a place to like relax. But he does end up leaving. Like, but also I would say about at this point, Brandon probably picked up on some of this conversation because he was finishing up his shopping quest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shopping. Yes.
Hello, Brandon.
Howdy.
But as I will say this, Bree, one, because this is such a big reveal, I'll give you inspiration for that.
Yes, let's go.
And 2, you like you said, there is this like weight, like, you know, saying it out loud after, you know, not really talking about it with anyone really. There is this sort of like a little bit of relief. You don't have all the answers that you want, and there's still so many questions that are out there, but knowing that your party has reaffirmed that they're here to support you, it does give you comfort. And as you kind of like continue the rest of your day, I'll calculate how much the cost of all that stuff is probably after session, but I will allow you to go and collect your spoils, to say the least.
Good.
But speaking of Brandon, you get a message from one of the townsfolk. Kind of like walk over to her. You know what? I say you're all here for this. It's an appropriate time. And one of the townfolk goes, Blarden, Brandon,
Brandon. I'm
Brandon.
I don't know Blarden.
Bowden?
Yeah, I was supposed to send you a message or something like that.
What's the
Torga,
message?
she's looking for you. She says she's got a couple details she needs to discuss with you about the bison armor or buffalo
Right.
helmets or whatever like that.
Right.
So she says just to come meet her outside of the town because she's got her like little caravan thing or something like that.
All right. Yeah, got it. Brandon is just going to heave himself off the ground and out of his seat and go out of town to Torga.
Okay. You just hop on. I'm assuming you bring Peanut as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Peanut is coming with.
Alrighty. So you end up making your way over to Torga's caravan. And immediately as you show up, that it's basically almost in like the same kind of area. They may have moved to a slightly different location. And you see Torga go, "Hey, Brandon, nice to see you. I figured we discuss getting your bison well protected. You know, with the way things are, doesn't hurt to have a little
Yes.
extra protection."
I agree.
And you kind of like, as she's going through some like papers and stuff like that, you see the dogs are like you eating some fresh meat and stuff like that. Goes, Well, you know what? You know what, Brandon? Protection seems hard to come by these days, you know?
Oh, no.
At least it's the kind that lasts. You know, I had this great guy, you know, got my
no.
caravan out of some serious trouble, yetis, dire wolves. He was able to take them down, no problem.
Did he have
Then,
a giant sword, perhaps?
you know what? No, he didn't. He kind of just had this steely blue gaze, you know, like the kind of person that like the cold never even bothered him, not even once.
Anyway.
Right.
But and it's strange, you know. All of a sudden, he leaves without any notice. No goodbye, no thanks for the contract, nothing. And that got me thinking, the last time I saw him was when you guys came by. Kind of a weird coincidence, don't you think?
No.
Yeah,
No.
it does seem weird.
Well, let me
Maybe
tell
he
you.
was inspired to go search for independence or the life of an adventurer.
Yeah, well, stranger things have happened, and strange things keep happening. You know, I'm making my rounds on the old road, and you know who I see? I see Hobbs sitting in a tent fishing for a meal by the lakeside. And I found that kind of odd considering the fact that I know he has a home and quite a bit of money from that business he started in Targos. It's not like he needs to do any fishing. He's got people to do that. That's really weird.
I don't remember who Hobbs is.
Hobbs is the person
He's,
who you
the
saved.
The rescue.
he's
from
he's the
Sal.
guy that
Evidence.
bribed. Yeah, he's our evidence.
Ah,
And you
We shouldn't have let him go alone.
and you see Torga go. I was like, "Oh, this is great! They didn't come with. Oh, this is great." And you see Torga go. You know, and that got me thinking. Sefik seemed interested in that guy before he left, and Sefik's the kind of person who doesn't drop something if he gets interested. And you see, and as you kind of like you're getting a vibe from Torga right now.
no, I already know what the vibe is. I am prepared for unimaginable trouble.
Listen, I did a bit of digging, and I get a feeling you've got some beef with Nerif. You're planning something, and I'm not about to turn down an opportunity when I see it.
Okay.
You want Hobbs alive.
She's business minded.
I guess you got some reason to save his ass. You probably want Nerif dead or dealt with some capacity. And I'm just saying we could do more working together than against.
Brendan's going to nod. He's going to say, and he is going to say, I'm not admitting to anything. And it sounds like neither are you. What exactly are you having in mind?
Look, you want support. You'll need connections. Guess what I've got in spades? I can make sure the transition of leadership goes smoothly. I just require a couple of guarantees. And she kind of like adjusts her coat. First off, I want a warehouse built on the lake, something that I can use for my little shop. I want it paid for by the people at Targos. Also, the trade goes through me. Justin, whatever his name is, the shopkeep, is going to know who his new boss is. If you make that happen, I won't go tell anyone where Hobbs is taking his little sweet vacay. And I think considering you killed one of my employees, I think that's a fair exchange.
Brendan's just going to raise one of his bushy eyebrows and says, again, that murdering your employee is a very serious accusation. Have you any proof of that?
You know what?
Additionally, this makes an interesting question. You mentioned that your employee had an interest in Hobbs. How would you know such a thing? And second, what kind of interest would your employee have in the man?
I would say, are you trying to kind of like intimidate him? Intimidate
No,
her? Oh.
I'm not trying to intimidate. I'm just raising my eyebrows. I'm just pointing out, like, wait a minute, something. You're telling me things don't add up. I agree. But there's much more than you're simply pointing out.
And she kind of thinks for a moment, and then she considers what you said, and she says, "Look, Brandon. Details aside, I think we could work together on this." It's clear you want the best case scenario in Targos, and this is how you get it. Simple,
Oh,
straight
you're
to the
right.
point.
I do want a best case scenario. I'm just wondering what you want out of all this. Besides Monopoly, I mean.
I'm a simple woman.
Okay.
Honestly, who doesn't love Monopoly?
Love that game.
Brandon's just going to chuckle at that, say, yes, I do understand. I do understand Monopoly. I want to make just like a quick insight check, just like just like trying to get like a feel, like, because it
A feel
definitely
for
does.
her?
Yeah, it does sound like thing. Just as a way, just for reference, Brandon is not lawful good. He's lawful neutral.
Mhm.
He is extremely pragmatic when he needs to be. So I want to know, is this with a 14? Is that enough to tell me if get suss out her motives based on what she said?
Honestly, 14 is pretty good. You get the sense that to a certain extent she's being kind of honest. She is being candid in the sense where she sees this as an opportunity. She also she also believes that she's in a very advantageous position to kind of get what she wants. You realize she knows where Hobbs is, and Hobbs is also kind of your star witness as to all of
Yes.
this. So if Hobbs disappears, that could cause a lot of problems for you.
Do I know the timetable for replacing, for confronting it? Our friend here. I'm confronting the town speaker.
For the sacrifice, like the new moon.
Yeah, what's the
I
timeline?
would say you're halfway through week 3, so probably in 10 days, I would
10
say.
days. Got it.
But you also consider the fact that like Hobbs is probably being watched by her.
Confirm.
You know, so you from a 14, you get the sense she thinks she's in a really good position to haggle and kind of like use the situation to her advantage. You also know that she's not lying about connections. She's one of the more famous like traveling caravans in the 10 towns. You also get the sense that slighting her might cause problems down the line
Yeah.
because she has connections with a lot of people in 10 towns. But that's the information that's on the table right now from your perspective,
Right.
Brandon.
Brandon is going to stroke his big bushy beard for a second, just to say.
Perm.
He's gonna say, of course, there's some issue. There's one issue that I do have. I'm not exactly sure how much pull I have with the townspeople, let alone with the ragtag group I'm with. With this Care Koenig, I could probably give you a more substantial answer. But as it stands, I do not wish to make a promise that I'm unable to keep.
She kind of thinks for a moment. You know what? That's fair. And you know what? I think that should be a little project for you. I think whoever ends up becoming the next town speaker, whether that be Kelvin, Hobbs, whoever, at this point, as long as they know that they are required to have a healthy relationship with moi, I think we're gonna be a-okay. It's a positive outcome for all of us. You take Dareth down, I make a little bit of money, everybody wins.
Brandon is just going to nod to himself, but he's not saying anything. He's keeping his cards to his chest for the moment.
And I mean, it's up to you if you want to stay, leave, nod.
Well, Brandon's, like I say, he's nodding. He's considering this. He's going to say, I should have an answer for you in a couple days. In the meantime, I'd like to do a little business before I go.
What kind of business?
Do you have any leather armor for a man of bulk? Studded leather, actually.
Tell you what, if everything goes well by the end of this, you can have it for free.
Whale, whale, whale.
Ooh, the player considers free leather armor. Well, now I'm gonna throw my morals out the window.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. I just realized I forgot to do some math. Sorry, hang on.
He's calculating damage.
Yeah.
No, I'm not calculating damage.
How many money do I have?
Minus. Okay. Yeah, I can easily. I can pay that like right now. Like just buy the armor right now.
I mean, honestly, he's not gonna turn away money. So yeah.
Just, I can pay for it now. We can discuss favors. If and when our little coup d'etat is successful.
Well, hopefully, I'm hearing good news.
Hopefully, I agree.
Yeah, I'll go get you some leather armor. All right. And you do finish that transaction. And when she goes to shake your hand at the end of all this, when you shake hands on that like leather armor bought, she just has that confident smile on her face.
Brandon, as always, is inscrutable. But I'm pretty sure she can feel the strength 19 in his powerful grip.
She does feel that, and she kind of pulls it away for a second. Well, I hope to be hearing from you soon. You may want to go and brief your friends on the situation.
Brandon will just nod again, and he's going. How much does the leather armor cost? How much does that set me back by?
Give me a second. We have the technology. The technology.
Brief, like brief.
Yeah.
Oh man, really, just me? Okay.
Oh my god.
Y'all just let me sit in silence there. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I hate you guys. How dare you?
How dare I do that? Listen,
Man.
I have an excuse. I'm currently trying to look through shopping prices while trying to exploit Brandon. All right, I'm doing multiple things here.
All right, boss man is free. Thought the rest. I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Let us see.
Sorry.
Oh my god, this PDF sucks.
It was funny.
I agree.
Where?
I think it's like 40 something gold.
Okay, we'll make it 15 gold pieces for the. Oh, you say it's studded?
Yeah, studded.
Hold on.
Let
Let me
Ooh,
check.
well,
Let me check.
Well, how many gold pieces do you have right now, Brandon?
68. I was checking. 2014 Players Handbook says it's 45 gold.
Yeah.
I'll say she'll mark it up to 50 gold.
Done.
Okay, so you get your studded leather armor.
Hold it.
As everyone starts getting increased AC and the DM starts to sweat.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it's less about increased AC,
Oh, and stealth. Yeah.
more about stealth.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, you do get your studded leather armor, and then you make your way back to Targos. So I guess it's up to you, Brandon, whether or not you want to inform your party of the little conversation you had with
Hey yo.
with Torga.
Yeah, studded leather armor, 45 gold piece. It's the same
Yep.
in 2024. So
Okay, cool. So, yeah, Brandon is going to. He's going to try again. He's deep in thought. I'm gonna equip some stuff here.
just
Okay,
out of
so as he-
curiosity, like this is a gameplay like question. So, if you want to avoid getting disadvantage in stealth, you could get a either chain shirt or hide armor, because that I don't know about your dex stats, but you could technically get that.
Chain
medium
shirt and
armor.
hide cap my.
Oh, you have
cap my AC.
dex mod higher than 2?
It is exactly 2, and I plan to increase it. So yeah, it caps
Oh.
my AC. I don't want that.
Got it. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if it's right now, you could get the chain shirt with 13 plus your 2, because you currently have 2,
No.
so you could have 1 more AC. Just saying.
Yeah, no. I mean, the thing about I'm checking my chain shirt. It's
It's
what
13.
like 13.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
13 plus 2.
or hide is 10. Is 12 plus 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, no. Right now, I'm planning to increase my my stats at some point when I level up. So right now, this is fine right now. So,
Got
but
it.
thank you for that. So
But yeah, so Brandon, you do return. It's up to you whether or not you want to inform the party of this conversation or keep it to yourself for now. It's entirely up to you.
yeah, I'm gonna keep it to myself. I am gonna ask.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna just say. I'm gonna go over. I'm just gonna ask, like, as we're getting ready for this, so you notice Brandon has come back from his shopping with some stuff, which you can only assume is to help with the upcoming coup.
Yeah.
And Brandon's just gonna ask, like, quick question: who are we? Once we overthrow Nerith, who are we planning to replace him with?
That's actually a good question.
I was
Perhaps
under the
no.
impression that the townspeople would have selected who would be
Same.
the next town speaker.
Same.
For if we advocate for one of them, then is that truly, well, right to the townspeople?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
listen,
called.
think about it this way also.
What was the word? Democracy? Diplomacy? No, democracy. Yes, I think that's the word.
Yes, Eden?
Sorry, Eden.
Think about it this way also. If the townspeople allowed someone so corrupt to lead them, who's to say that it won't happen again?
You make a point.
And you will think about when Eden does say that it's like there are a bunch of different ways that this can like resolve, but this isn't a unique opportunity in which if you guys are going to go through with what you plan to go through with, you find yourself in a situation where it's like you could try and find the best candidate who you think would be able to lead the town in a much better direction. Obviously, there's a few NPCs that you could even have conversations about or investigate. Luckily, one of them you've already kind of investigated, Bree in particular, because you've been spending so much time with Kelvin. Kelvin's not a bad choice if you wanted to have him become the new town speaker.
Yeah, but didn't he moved from somewhere else, so he's not like a homegrown like
Yeah, that is the thing.
Targosian, you know.
He's not you know a full blown Targosian.
Yeah.
And the other big thing about Calvin that's kind of like a detriment is that he's the man of the cloth, and he may not have like a lot of like leadership skills.
Administration as well.
Like he might be better at keeping a cool head and giving like good advice, but when it comes to like managing a town,
Yeah.
What about Hobbs?
Yeah. that's what I'm
Hobbs
saying.
is so here's the thing about Hobbs, and honestly, this is actually a good time for me to kind of go through some NPCs, and I'll say you would have gathered this information via the time you spent here. One, you know that Hobbs is the owner of a fishing group that does most of their business in Targos. The company's name is Hobbs Bobs, and he has always. You get the sense that he he has always been in the look to gain connections in Targos. Um, Now, granted, you do know that he did pay that bribe to keep himself off the list. However, he has a lot of business sense. He has a lot of experience with the town people. And you get the sense where like he might not be a bad choice, to say the least. But you also know that his morals might be a little bit more gray. You know, it's hard to tell. But you also have to think of it this way: you did save his life. He could become a changed man. You know, with the white kind of like the right kind of push, he might be able to lead the people into a better spot. Another crazy option is Torga. Torga is already looking to secure a position. Like you could make her the town speaker. Not only would she get exactly what she wants, she would definitely get a lot of foothold. Obviously, you kind of get the sense that Torga's not exactly the kindest person, so that's a direction. As far as like other people that might be considered, Hiln, the old shield dwarf that
she
gave you
gave us
the
a
ancient
quest,
weapons.
right? Yeah.
She gave you the quest to actually hunt down Sefik. She has experience. She's an adventurer. But she comes off as a little bit old-fashioned. So she might have a more like blunt
Strict,
approach into
yes.
running things, but that might not necessarily be a bad thing. But as far as like potential candidates, as far as you could see, Hobbs, Calvin, Torga, and Hilm are definitely the ones that kind of like come to the forefront.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'll go talk to
Brandon,
him, actually.
yeah, Brandon is considering Hobbs. Honestly, he might accept Torga again because he is going to be trusting her to go down to his place sooner rather than later, and he would like to make sure that she doesn't try to bilk his family or otherwise take advantage of them.
Enough.
And he also knows that she is connected, and he would not want those connections to be turned against his family.
One thing you also do consider, Brandon, that's a good point, is that you get the sense that Hobbs would probably be okay with working with Torga to a certain extent, whereas like someone like Calvin might have problems with that. That's another thing to consider. But Brandon's definitely put his vote in for Hobbs. What about you, Ragnar? Who are you thinking would be an interesting
Helm,
candidate?
actually. She helped
Helm?
us. She gave us quests and she gave us the rewards as ancestral weapons. And she seems to be perfectly fine with her moral compass. I think that's what the 10,000
That's the one thing. That's the one thing we could say about Hiln is that Hiln's
Yeah.
moral compass, as far as you know, is
intact.
relatively on the up and up.
Yeah, so
So-
Yeah, my concern for like Hobbs, I think he's quite capable and naturally could become a town speaker. I just have my doubts with Hobbs because he literally bribed, the lottery itself,
that's what I'm thinking.
right?
too.
So,
Yep.
because like I think he's capable, but like also it's like the fact that he bribed and didn't accept his own fate makes me think that in times of pressure, Hobbs might just sell out his own town,
Yep.
right? So, I don't know if Torga is like the best choice either. So naturally, and I like Calvin, but the reality is Calvin's not gonna work out as a leader. So I naturally default to Hiln, I think.
Okay.
I think Hobbs,
Two votes
Hobbs
Hiln,
and
one
Calvin
Hobbs.
will be a great supporter.
Also, you also think of this way, like even you could just say, "Hey, so and so is running the town," but that doesn't mean that like
Yeah, they
this other
can't give
person can't like
advice.
help. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
But
mean-
what about you, Eden? Who are you kind of like leaning towards?
I like Torga and Hilm, honestly.
Those are kind of like the two you're thinking of. Well, right now it does kind of seem like Hiln is in the lead. So if that's kind of the direction the party wants to go, absolutely
are you,
make it
like,
work.
how do you feel about it, like Falcon? Are you fine with that?
With
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 Hiln?
Hobbs.
With him.
well,
sorry?
with Hiln.
Hiln.
The
The
old
tavern-
dwarven adventurer lady. Yeah.
I will also
I'll
say
wait for
this. I will also say this, Brandon. You do know Hiln personally. Hiln's not a bad option. Like you know that she's like, if anything, she's a little bit like you. She's an old soul. But you know, whether or not she'll be compliant with with Torga, that's up in the air.
Actually.
However, if you explain the situation to her, she might consider what's the best for
That might be a
Targos.
thing. That might be what I do then if I can't get Hobbs in. We'll call Hiln Plan B. Like if I can't get Hobbs in, I can go to Hiln, explain what's going on, and
Also, the other thing to consider, Brandon, if you want to kind of double dip, you could definitely get Hobbs into a advisory position.
yeah, that might be my Plan B. But and like I said, and if nothing works out, I can always go Plan C. I've told you what Plan C is already.
Yeah, I
Ayo.
have a feeling what Plan C's gonna be.
Fight, 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 fight. Yeah.
So like
Yo.
you really want like Hobbs to be like the guy? Falcon.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it's based on what I've seen. I think like Hobbs is going to basically be a puppet ruler, and Torga would be the
Oh,
real
yeah.
power behind
yeah.
everything. If Hiln was put into an advisory position, it would be a puppet with two separate people trying to control.
Hmm.
Hold on. Now, did you tell us about Torga's?
No,
Mm.
no.
So,
no, no,
yeah,
no,
He
you
is
don't
okay.
know.
No. So that's great because us with no knowledge of your interaction with her naturally didn't put her in the equation because
Yep.
we just know her as some random like chick just kind of helps.
You know what?
the
I
target.
find it very interesting how this whole situation changed by the fact that Brandon went there by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a direction I was expecting. This is very interesting.
Nice. Brandon has an angle. Okay.
But you do have an option, and honestly, you can also give it some time. You don't have to like confirm anything like right now. You've got about 10 days left.
Well, we are gonna talk to Helm first to see her, opinions. On
Yeah, I mean,
this.
honestly, if you guys just want to do that now, go have a conversation with Helm. Absolutely. So
I mean,
will
we
say,
could just touch bases with all the candidates. Let's
Yeah.
just have a bit of a debate. Let's put him in front. What do you think about world hunger? And see.
when I started this survival campaign, I was not thinking like I was
Yeah,
not thinking that we were gonna get
politics.
to the political like intrigue
Yeah.
of 10 towns. I love
Actually,
it.
I have a
mean, this is
question.
yeah.
Go
What
for it.
about the owner of the tavern, Ethan Yarbrough?
Eth-
The halfling.
The lady.
Oh, Ethan? Oh,
Ethan.
Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan. I mean.
Yeah, she's also another option. You may want to talk to her. You also don't know, she might not be in the position where she wants to be the town speaker, but she's also not a bad option too.
about Garett.
Hey, listen,
Everyone.
everybody's got their everyone's got
No,
their-
they can have their piece. They can have their piece. I don't want to bring them back to. I don't want to bring them into politics. They can have their piece.
Viren, do you want
it's
to be the town speaker?
So like, wait. So
my
quick question, right? So because since this was in character where we are discussing who our candidates are, does Brandon like say to everyone that like does Brandon tell us that they want to put Hobbs into power?
Yeah, Brandon is gonna say he wants.
Hobbs
He's
to
gonna
be
recommend
the-
Hobbs. Hobbs is wealthy, has his own thing. He's fairly well connected, and he could leverage those connections.
Hmm.
Well, that's also a point.
I suppose.
We'll talk to them both. You know what? We'll talk to them both.
Sure.
Yeah.
The only thing that stands in my way for Hobbs, well, he did put an innocent man to be sacrificed, but I think there's a lot of things a man would do not to die. So maybe I can understand him there.
Right.
Okay. So
Well-
I will say, for those who are interested in talking to some of the candidates, I know Hiln is on the top of the list to go talk to. So unless there's, I'll say the party, you can go and talk to Hiln for sure.
I will go talk.
All
right.
You can go talk to Helena. I'm gonna go find Hobbs.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
You're
Hold
gonna go.
on.
Right there's like no.
Hold
Wait.
on. Just remember, if you needed to go talk to Hobbs, you'll need some serious disguise. Like,
Well, what we could do is Ragnar and Brandon could go talk to Hobbs
I
and
could.
Eden
I
and
I
Eden
could
and
Brandon-
Bree.
I could disguise myself and go talk to Hobbs. I couldn't bring a hulking, well-known.
He's got studded
townsfolk-
leather armor. He's fine.
I want to just make like a practice moving around in this armor because I'm just to make
Yeah.
sure, see how good I
Yeah,
am.
absolutely,
I want
go
to make
for it.
first practice stealth check just to see, and
Do
just
it.
like compare it to y'all's passive perception, just to like
Yeah.
see if I'm able to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not able to do the same way. 17.
Not terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're good.
Honestly,
Bree gives a thumbs up.
yeah. Like honestly, considering your amazing stealth on the mountain in the
Yeah.
beginning of the session, this is a
Yeah.
vast improvement.
Yes.
All right.
And it's actually kind of nice, like, despite not being the biggest fan of Torga, like the stuff that she was selling is pretty well made. Like it's really like it's adjustable and it seems like it fits pretty well. Like even with your more bulky build.
Yeah. All right.
But if that is the case, I will say Ragnar and Brandon, you guys can go check on Hobbs, and Eden and Bree can go check on Hilm. So we'll start with Hilm first then. You do find her in the tavern. She seems to be kind of like, hovering near like one of like a small cup of ale. The Three Flags Sailing is the one. That's the one that Ethan also
Yeah.
runs as well. So you see Ethan there, you see Hilm there, and Hilm goes, "Hey, haven't seen you guys in a bit."
Hello, Hiln.
And she kind of takes a sip. So, what? You came here for drinking? You came here for advice? I mean,
They were looking for you, actually.
what'd I do this time?
It's about what you can do.
Oh, I'm interested.
I sit down and we're in like the public room, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're in an off. It's kind of quiet. There's a corner you could kind of go. And
Yeah,
sit
we'll
if
just
you
go
wanna.
to the corner. We'll
Yeah,
get the corner booth, right?
She picks up the vibe. She'll walk over to the corner. She kind of waddles
Yeah.
her way over.
What would be the best way to explain this, Eden?
Have you? What? Are you perhaps unsatisfied with current management?
That's
That
pretty
is the
straightforward.
most. That is the most corporate email I have ever seen.
I like the way you. That's great.
Oh,
That's a
that
great
just,
way to put it.
oh, that just hit me so hard, Sherry. Okay, take inspiration for that. Oh, oh. Hiln will say, I'm going to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Nerif. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that there's some shady shit that he's been up to.
Yes, well, it is about that. Would you? Well, I'm not really good at this. You told me to be much more subtle, but I am not the best at that. I look towards him and just say that. Would you like to be town speaker potentially?
She thinks for a moment. Well, I mean, I could, but what makes you think that I'm the best candidate for the job?
Well, at least for me, you're quite capable, as you've shown yourself in the wilderness to survive, and I think with age comes wisdom.
She kind of nods for a bit, and she goes, "Well, I've been looking for a place to retire, and I kind of gotten used to Targos at this point. Maybe I could, get this ship running back in order, if you know what I mean." And she kind of she's thinking about like a lot at this moment as she kind of like almost like she's reminiscing about old times. And she goes, "Well, I will say this. You guys are a good judge of character. You helped hunt that bastard Sephic, and you took care of a cold-hearted killer. And for that I will always have your gratitude. If you think I might be the right woman for the job, who am I to say no?"
Well, that we'll get back to you on that one then, Hiln.
Yeah, no worries. I mean,
Uh,
honestly, listen, I know you guys are probably planning something for the sacrifice day or the judgment day, whatever you want to call it. Just
Oh, is it that obvious?
well, she doesn't want to be insulting. Hey, listen, I've got to give this old granny some credit. I'm a bit experienced. You think you're the first one to you have to deal with a bunch of political malarkey, in a town? Oh, you should have seen me back in Barovia. Oh man. You also like that's a bit of a name drop, but also you're starting to go, oh, she's traveled a lot. if she's been to Barovia and then made her way over here.
Do they know what
Um,
Barovia is in character? Question mark.
yeah, how's the Alexander statue?
To be honest, it's a bit much. It's not as big as the
It's a bit.
it's not as big as the Sylvana statue. That one
Yeah!
is like
Inside joke. Sorry,
We're just
Carrie.
referencing our
Yeah.
first campaign
past
characters in Barovia.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
but she kind of she nods and she says like, "Look, I got your back. You seem like good people, and to be honest, you helped out Garett get home safe and sound. You killed that cold-hearted killer. If there's anyone who's got a good judgment of character, it's you guys. So, if you think I might be the best candidate for the job, I'll do it. And honestly, I was thinking about traveling, and now I have a good excuse not to. These old bones, they might need a little bit of break. Who knows? Maybe a desk job might be fun."
Ah, well, great. I look towards Eden. Do you have any questions?
Questions. I just actually can I just make a quick insight check? Is she does it feel like she's just pulling our leg? You know? Is she
No,
not thinking clearly?
honestly, I'll make an insight check. This is just kind of like to read a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Just in
That's
general.
just kind of what I want to get a feel for. You know, I feel like she's telling mostly the truth. It's just
10. That's decent enough. You get the sense that she's being pretty honest. Like she has been looking for a reason to retire. She's tired of traveling around. She's been in Targos for a while now. Um, you do get the sense that maybe she is not necessarily considering all of the responsibility that's about to be thrown at her, but you also get the sense that she does give an aura of experience. She has dealt with a lot of different situations in the past, so that experience that she gives off definitely gives you a little bit of confidence that she would probably be a pretty good candidate.
right.
Okay,
believe in
so okay, we're good now. Eden.
Yeah.
Right. So
Okay, I look back to Hill and it's like we'll get back to you in 2 or 3 business days.
I'm taking psychic damage. No.
I hate it.
All right, but yeah, she gives you a nod, and you make your way.
We'll bring your issue up to HR.
Listen, I have my business email open right now. You are verbatim reading it off.
Nope.
But as you guys finish with that conversation, Ragnar and Brandon, you easily find Hobbs. He's still.
Okay, just in case we are.
You're gonna try and do this stealthily.
We're gonna go out of town normally. Then try to see if anyone's following us, because that's probably gonna happen someday, and then stealthily go there.
Okay, so I will say, both of you, I want you to make stealth checks and perception checks.
Okay.
Please be good. We can't afford this.
Great.
Stealth.
Stealth again.
12.
16.
Decent. And now I want you guys to make perception checks, please.
Perception. 8.
Ah, my eyes!
Is anyone following
My
us?
old eyes.
I just yelled that into the air. That's it. Oh god damn it.
I mean, you're stealthy. That's good.
Yeah.
You get the sense that, like, here's the good news. So the good news is that you think that with those stealth checks, you do effectively leave town without many people noticing you. And as you travel through the wilderness to the location that you left Hobbs in, you feel like you got there unnoticed. At least you believe that with those perception checks. But it's hard to say. It's kind of like with a 3 and an 8, you could have been noticed by something, but it also could be just nothing. But you do see Hobbs looking cold, tired, and he just sees you approach and go, "Well, it's nice to see you all. Did you got any more food?"
I thought I left you enough rations. Oh, anyway.
You left.
I left 10.
I have been eating
20 days
beef
or
jerky for the last 14 days. Please tell me you got like a salad
Yeah.
or like a piece of bread.
Yeah.
Can I make a survival check to see if I can find him something other than beef jerky?
Absolutely. You know what? I'll even give you advantage.
14.
14. You actually you just leave for like literally 5 minutes, and you find what he clearly did not find, which is a very nice wild berry bush.
Is well, I want to make sure. Like, are these berries okay to eat?
With a 14, yes, they are.
Okay, good. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna just grab a bunch. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna place them on the ground. I'm gonna say, I can show you where a berry bush is. You can eat them right off the bush, or you can try to make your own homemade wine. It's your choice.
Nice.
Oh, that would be just the best. And he immediately starts kind of like, picking at the berries you hand him, and goes, "So, can I go home now?"
Aww. Poor guy.
Almost. It's like
Not yet.
Yeah, almost. Great.
you were.
Great.
You're not quite done with your torture.
You sure you weren't spotted? Any? Like this is like.
He throws his arms in the air. We're in the middle of nowhere. Who would be tracking me down? Have you told anyone I'm here?
Definitely not. The ones we met are only dead yetis. That's for sure. Well, if you want to also avoid certain death, I would suggest you stay put for just another week. I have some rations here for you. There are breads inside.
Okay,
Last time I left, it's probably frozen.
He rips pieces of bread and starts
Yeah,
eating it, and
and
he's
I
just
left
like,
you enough wood if you really want to, put on fire to, not frozen to death.
Look, the sooner I get home, the better. All right, I'm sure you guys.
I also don't want you here any longer because that's
Same.
bad for our plan. But
Yeah.
Plan?
But all that
What-
aside,
what is
all
what
that
is
aside.
the plan? I you know, and he kind of gets up, is like, listen, I have held my end of the bargain. I have stayed here. I have done everything in my power to lay low. I've been eating beef jerky for the last 14 days. Can you give me some information? What is the plan, if you don't mind me
Looking to
asking?
get rid of
Nerith.
the corrupt speaker, Nerith.
Oh, thank gods. All right. So
And that
taking care
makes
of
you
Your
Mira.
name
our
may be in the running.
valuable witness.
And your name may be in the running to become
Yep.
the new speaker.
That is another topic, but yes. Sure.
He
If
kind of thinks
Brandon
for a moment.
wants to bring this up so early, sure.
It's
He scratches his
Yep.
chin.
I'm gonna
and he
look
kinda
at right now
goes,
while he's pondering. I'm just going to say yes. It is. It will make it. It will make all this waiting in the wilderness worth it. What is
Oh.
eating beef jerky and berries and the occasional game animal
Let's
for
not get
3
ahead of
weeks
ourselves, Brandon.
compared to running the
on.
town?
So right now you're like saying like,
Uh-uh.
Brandon, stop, please. But
No, I'm not pleasing. I'm just looking at him and just like,
The old-
not that early.
The old man.
Mhm.
The old man. But then Brandon's like, I'm going to bracket this by saying it's right now. It is a little too early to tell. We still need to overthrow Nerith. Then we can worry about seeing who's in charge next.
But we are, well, he is being like really urgent for God knows why. But Brandon is not complete off point. We are here to ask you about your, let's say, perception on this topic. If we have you with us take down Nerith, would you be interested in becoming the new town speaker?
He thinks for a moment, and he says, he's almost flabbergasted by how all of these events have convened, kind of like hit each other.
Yep.
And he basically says, I am a man of opportunity, and I have been working to try and build good relationships with the people of Targos for the last few years. I mean, yes, I would not throw away the opportunity to become town speaker. It's been something I have considered in the past. I just... You see, he seems conflicted at the moment, considering everything that has happened.
Yep.
But he says, if the people think that I am worthy of a candidate, who am I to say no? And I have a good rapport with the people, and I have a savvy business sense, so I wouldn't drive the town into the ground. So, yes, I'd be more than willing to do that if it came to that.
We'll work out the details. Right now, that's all we need. And in order to achieve that, you have to stay alive. So,
I will stay alive, and now at least I have the berry bush. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah, Ragnar, I will actually, you know what, in the interest of getting you some better rations, once we've concluded our business here, I'll go see if I can find, get you some, fresh meat.
I would appreciate that.
Rabbits.
yeah.
He's just like, oh, cooked meat, not shitty bargain bin jerky. And he just kind of goes and lies near the fire, and he's just thinking about food now.
Yeah. All right.
But you do return back to
Yeah.
Targos.
Well, no,
Oh,
Ragnar is going to return to Targos. Brendan is
oh,
gonna be sent
you're
back.
gonna stay. You're gonna stay
Yeah.
by.
No,
and
I'm
talk to him?
gonna keep Hobbs company while you
That's
go hunt
nice.
because who knows what happens in the wilderness.
Ragnar's like, I don't want to leave you alone with it.
Well, no, I'm not accompanying Brandon. I'm just accompanying Hobbs. until
Okay.
Brandon returns. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
he
don't think
can
I'm gonna
go
find
fetch
anything.
his. He can go meet up Targos. if he
Honestly, I would
wants.
say you do catch a rabbit, even with an
Yeah.
8. Like, because you're a ranger, like you technically you don't even need to make a check to forage.
Yeah.
Right.
So you do come back with a fresh kill to cook on
Yes.
the fire.
Yeah. Meanwhile, mentally, yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm not giving like any indication, but mentally, I'm cursing Ragnar for not going back home. 'Cause I need to speak with Hobbs privately. We got a Game of Thrones to play here.
Yeah.
And Ragnar's like, Brandon, you're my best friend.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, this ain't that kind of campaign. Now go, come, let's go back.
But yes, so you do spend some time at the camp together.
Yeah, I was just like, Brandon,
You do
let's go. Time's
yeah.
Yep.
You do get the sense, Brandon, that perhaps there might be another time where you can talk to
Hobbs,
Hobbs by himself, probably closer to Judgment Day. So that's something to consider. But you do return, and we are starting to get to the final stretch of the downtime. So we are in the final week of downtime. And also, I'll say this is kind of like a off-camera thing. Tally does like talk to you guys about like what the plan is and like kind of like she's supportive of like whatever the party really wants to do. She does seem like she's writing something in her journal. But is there anything that the party would like to do on the final week of downtime before we get this party started?
All right. Well,
wants
what
to go
I'm gonna
first?
do is, well, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna sneak out of town and go to Hobbs.
Okay.
Let him know.
And okay, so we'll say you're gonna have a conversation with Hobbs. Eden, is there anything you'd like to do for the final week?
Mind yet. Give me a moment.
Okay, no problem. Bree, what about you?
I guess in all honesty, Bree would just assist anyone else because Bree doesn't really have anything else to do.
Okay.
All right, you can help.
I'll
me
say you
with
do.
my
You
craft.
do. Yeah, you know what? Maybe you have
All
like a
good.
nice craft day
Yeah,
as you guys
all
are
goods.
working together.
Yeah.
And honestly, even Tally kind of helps out a little bit.
Oh, cool.
So
She knows anything about
um,
magic? Interesting.
Oh, actually, you know what? I do have a thing I do want to do
Okay.
for my downtime. I want to talk to Hobbs myself.
Okay. Everyone wants to
Once
talk
again.
to
Once
Come
again.
on.
All right.
Fucking Brandon's like, God damn it.
Damn it.
Yep. All
This
right.
is really funny. Okay. Well, for couple things here. I will say, oh my God. Listen, I'm trying to be nice, Brandon. I'm trying to give you a time to talk to Hobbs, but he's so popular right now. It's hard to make the schedule work. So here's what I'll say. I will say, Eden, maybe you, Tally, and Ragnar are working together on that crafting project. If you want to just do
Sure.
that, and I will say, as you're kind of working on that. You do see like Tally's actually been writing a little bit something, and she says, "Well, I don't know how much this will help, but I might have some kind of closing arguments when we talk to the people at the town hall. I'm a little bit nervous, but I think it might be something that could be helpful."
Can we read it?
She kind of it's not ready yet, but you know what? I'll say make a persuasion check, Eden.
Yay. Click. 7.
7. You get the sense that it's in the first draft, but you do know that it's probably going to be maybe something useful, and it could be because spoilers, it's going to be a verbal boss battle coming up very soon. So it might be something to. It's like a final gambit. It could be a very good use to have something as a closing argument, and maybe let's not spoil the surprise. But she says, but don't worry, don't worry. It'll be good. It'll be good for when the day comes. I promise. I have a lot of faith in you guys. And she's
have
like,
faith in yourself. You're helping us too.
oh well, you know. Okay. Yeah, okay. I get confidence. Yep, confidence. She is very insecure about herself, as you
Doing her
have very
best.
clearly have picked up on. But you, the three of you are going to work on Ragnar's magic project.
Yep.
Speaking of, what is this?
Well, some of the Yeti bloods, a fusion of the ironwood, to shrink down the mask to make it a medallion, and yeah, that's the vial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Eden does not understand it at all.
I pat her on the shoulder. It's a different type of magic.
you also see like Tally's like, yeah. Totally.
Just mix 3
Eden's
ounces
like this right
of
now.
this blood within the ironwood to make it shrink, and then you can distill it from the vessel, and then to separate the spirit out.
Robin
yeah.
talking with
Yeah.
that gif is so perfect.
Trust me.
So
I have this
yes,
undercover.
I will say this, Ragnar, with the little bit of a push and help of Eden, and just handing out little pieces and putting a little bit of a contribution,
Okay.
you will have successfully crafted at the end of this week a blood vial.
Yes.
And I will add that. I will add that to your inventory, and
I'll add it
after
myself.
reading.
It's fine. I'll add it myself.
Oh well, I have it there as well.
Oh,
if
okay,
you want it, but
Blood.
oh boy, after seeing what that thing does, I'm scared.
Yeah. I'm super stoked. Yes.
So here's the thing. I was a little bit concerned, and then after you rolled a natural 20 last session and did 40 damage, now I'm terrified.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right. But as you do finish that, Bree and Brandon, you are both making your way over to Hobbs. And I will say
I'm
will,
gonna let Bree go ahead alone.
well, that's what I was going to say. We'll say Bree goes first, and then Brandon will go second.
Yep.
If you guys are okay with that.
Oh man, I won't take too long. I actually not gonna press him that much. Just
Alright.
I do visit him probably like this is probably the only time I visit him, so he must be
Yeah.
surprised. I'll probably just kind of wave my hand, my hands like, "Hello, Hobbs."
Yeah. Hi, Bree. What can I do to help?
Well, I'm sure Brandon has already talked to you about you might potentially be a town speaker.
Yes, he's brought up that concept to me.
Well, then there's not much to talk about aside from the fact that I just wish that whether or not you do become town speaker, once you do return back to Targos, I do ask that you apologize to Calvin. He was the man that took your place.
Yeah, I guess that would be appropriate. All right. It seems more than fair. I would be dead if it wasn't for your intervention. So, least I can do.
All right. Well, I just hope it's just that I have been. Death is not something that's easy to confront, and Calvin chose to accept it already. So I just ask that you learn from that as well. And I leave him my heat cube for the rest of the week.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Nice. You
And
kind of
that, yeah.
you
I
get the
turned it on
sense.
so he
Oh,
can feel
sorry.
the warmth. Yeah, so he knows how to use it. I turn it on.
Oh, okay, I see. You're like, oh,
So he knows
how
what
do
it
I
is.
use this thing?
Yeah, he knows how to use it.
But as you kind of you get the sense that honestly, like even just from a cursory like passive insight, like you get the sense that you know Cobbs is kind of he's becoming a bit changed to a certain extent.
Okay.
You think he's reflecting on all of the things that led up to this, and the perilousness of the situation, what he's had to do to survive, but seeing like this might be an opportunity to make amends with people has definitely given him a lot to consider. And the fact that you would lend him such a powerful magical item, it does give him a lot to think about.
Also, I do apologize. I think I could have given this to you earlier.
And then he thinks about that, and then you pirouette away.
Wait a second.
Well, we did need it last week, although for the
Yeah,
few
no,
weeks
that's
before
fine.
that,
That's fine. It's the thought that counts.
well,
But yes,
I do-
he
I
he
do.
is he is very appreciative of the cube for sure. He's not gonna complain. He's not
Yeah.
gonna complain out loud that you didn't give him the cube earlier, but he's happy to have it at least for the final week.
yes, yes, I do forget things sometimes, so I do apologize. I shall now leave. I think the rest of your day would be quiet. And I go, and then Brandon comes.
And you see him like he goes, I can finally relax. And then
No,
Brandon arises from the woods. Oh, hi, Brandon.
Hello there. Oh man, he's just a yes. He's gonna take a look. Bree's gone. Good.
Why is that good?
There's something that's only for you to know. Torga, I have reason to believe Torga knows where you are. She is not happy that you survived. I think I may have saved you a life. But if you do get into a position of power, you will have to. Your end of the bargain will be to advocate for Torga and help her set up shop in town.
I see. Okay, and you talked with Torga about this.
Yes. She's very interested in getting a foothold here.
And he kind of thinks for a moment. This is so interesting because he just had that conversation with Bree, and now he is very morally conflicted, and this is such a contrast considering how he started, right? Like Brandon,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you interacted with him a couple times, like he was like, oh, I've got this guy figured out, and you see him actually struggle with his resolve right now as to what he wants to do. But he does say that, like, look, I don't want to be killed. I'll do what I can, and hopefully I can at least mitigate. I just hope that Torga's not going to do anything rash. I'm kind of tired of hurting people, and I worry of what that kind of relationship will create down the line. But I'm gonna trust you guys, all right? You've gotten me this far alive. There's no point for me to pull out now.
Yeah, he nods and says, yeah, especially because just honestly, there's really nowhere for you to go.
There is that. You do get the sense that he's probably gonna work with Torga. Now that you've brought that up. But you do get the sense that he's very morally conflicted about working with Torga, but he also kind of understands that it might have to be a necessary evil.
Yeah.
But he does kind of nod and says, "Look, you guys gave me a second chance. gotta use it. Gotta use whatever time I have left.
Yeah. Brandon nods and says, "But yeah, that's what I came to inform you of. That Torga knows where you are, and
Should I
There's
move
rel-
camp, I guess, or
no, I don't think you should, not at this moment. But if things don't, I will do my best to make sure things work out so that at the very least you live. But if things don't work out, you may need to be ready to flee for your life."
I appreciate the honesty. All right. Well, I guess we won't know until Judgment Day.
I agree.
All right.
Also got you another rabbit.
Oh, thank God. And he immediately like cooked that on the fire. It's quite good.
And Brandon, with that, he's just going to nod, like give him a pat on the shoulder, and then vanish back into the wilderness again.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hob is like our
Um,
Tamagotchi right now.
I forget. It's so funny, like how many people have had like, okay, I
Yeah.
go
Ethan,
talk to
it's your
Hobbs.
turn.
I
Go,
go
go,
talk to
go, it's
Hobbs.
your turn.
I go talk to Hobbs, and
Now
it's
I
like
talk to Hob.
Oh my God.
Eden arrives and goes
I'm
like,
kidding,
"Why?
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Is this really funny?" It's like, why couldn't you all just show up together? I don't understand.
Yeah. What's with
Because
with
I think Hobbs is starting. I mean, this is the last time I'm going to speak with him. I think Hobbs at this point is suspecting that I might be trying to play something here. So
I think he understands that. It's just I think what's important to stress is that I think before all this he would have been like, yeah, absolutely no problem, down for it. After everything and considering the conversations you guys have had with him, he's now much more morally conflicted about that. That's the big takeaway about that. But you guys are approaching the
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, the final day where you will have your conversation in the town hall. And it seems like as
Whoops.
I'm getting a call
Dun, dun, ding, ding, ding.
from possible spam. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ignore that. I admire their honesty. But as you kind of approach the final day, word starts to spread about like there is it seems like Nerif has definitely picked up that there's a conversation that needs to happen with the town. So he has set up a meeting. He has set up a meeting for everybody involved in the town. All the people that you've talked to and interacted will be there. And as you arrive at the town hall, you see everyone's there. Hiln's there, Jestin's there, Ethan's there, Scaff's there. Viren's kind of like stayed around for a little bit. And Hiln's there as well. The only one who's not there is Torga. Probably because she wants to wait until see how things play out on this day. But get some appropriate music.
Let's get crafting.
Unless there's anything else you want to do before you enter the town hall.
Nope.
It's up to you. All right.
There isn't much we can do, so
No,
right
I think
now,
that's.
yeah,
I think we're
that's
pretty
probably
much.
and nothing else we can do.
Yeah, I think we're at that point now.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
as you
Oh, wait,
enter.
can I say do one thing actually?
Oh, yes.
I'm just gonna say to what do you call this? What's his name? Mr. Cath, the bodyguard of Nerith.
Oh, Scaff, yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell him. If you ever want to change, to work for a new management, I suppose. Or yeah, to work. With
He. You get the sense he definitely heard you, but he does not give you a response. You don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he's just kind of is acknowledged that you've said that.
All I'm saying
And
is I
Mhm.
can pay you. If ever. That's what I want to say. And I'll leave.
And as you kind of take a seat down, there seems like a table all set up for you guys. And as you kind of enter the town hall, it's actually kind of a they've taken an old building that used to be a tavern, and they've kind of like made it like a kind of like a place where people come to discuss things. So as you enter, you see there is a couple things of note. One, mounts and beast companions are not allowed inside. Now, granted,
Okay.
that might change depending on how they might not be there right now, but depending on how badly this goes, they could be there momentarily. They're basically
Good.
outside the building.
All right, I will park Peanut underneath a window.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But-
And Cream Puff is also outside as well, Eden, just for
No,
reference.
Master Debater.
You
Oh,
see,
my Lord.
you see. I'm just gonna blow right past that.
Ah, blow, huh?
Oh god damn it,
God
Justin.
damn it.
You do see that there is a multitude of commoners and villagers that are all kind of sitting down. Some are like just here to listen. Others are here for some free food. There's a bunch of different people here. Just as far as like guards, there are 2 veteran guards that are basically keeping an eye on the doors. And there are some sort of like more tribal warriors who are when I say tribal warriors, that's kind of like the stat block of like like a basic
Yeah, totally.
generico
Totally,
kind of like
yeah.
protector of the town. There's a few of them in there. And as you sit down, you see Nerif is going to take the stand. And mechanically, to explain how this is going to work, this is a bit of a verbal boss battle. So he's going to say his piece, and then you can respond to that. And depending on how you respond, you'll either make like a persuasion, an intimidation, or a deception check. Each one have pros and cons to how that will sway the town as a whole. And the DCs will probably get higher as the conversation continues. But you know what? As since Eden's going to be gone for just a little sec, I will say everybody in the party make perception checks.
Not my forte. But I'll try.
Okay, 17's pretty good.
Perception 5. No clue.
18.
Ooh, okay. All right. So, Ragnar, you're not really focused on this at the current moment. Bree and Brandon, you definitely pick up that there is a likelihood that some of these people that are kind of shifting a little bit in their seats might be under Nerif's pocket, but they're not obviously showing their presence. So if this does turn into a fight, it's not just going to be Nerif and Scaff. It might be more than just Nerif and Scaff. So you do clock that information. That's both Bree and Brandon.
Got it.
Got it.
But as you sit down, Nerif is going to take the floor. All right, Hush. Oh, sorry, I gotta get his voice right. Okay. So, it seems like the question of my leadership needs to be addressed. Everyone deserves a chance to defend themselves. That is the right of any who come to live in Targos. So, people aren't happy with the necessary sacrifices to the Frostmaiden. I understand that this is not easy for anyone to accept. We need to remember that what came before I arrived, the everlasting winter was destroying this community. Before I was in this position, the people here had no clear direction. I have delivered solutions to these harsh realities, and time again, make no mistake. If you want things to return to the hellscape it was once before, then by all means remove me from my rank. But I don't think that's what you really want. It's at this point you see murmuring in the crowd, and this is an opportunity that if you want to rebuttal this, you can.
Well, Brandon is not is a very
I'm gonna-
blunt dude. He's
Yeah. So anyone, if you want to speak before me, you should go. But yeah, if not,
You can go ahead. I think Bree is also just kind of like, she is there. She will jump in at some point, but it's also
Mhm.
kind of like,
This isn't the key
Yeah,
point
the-
you want to jump in on.
yeah. Plus, also honestly, I just feel like we set a good precedent, and I feel like to kind of set the mood, I really think our best mood setter will be our Ragnar because you know how he does it. So
Yeah.
okay.
he should do it.
I mean, honestly, if Brandon and Ragnar want to say something to rebuttal this at the same time, they can. So
Brandon's
it's
not
up
going
to
to
you.
say anything.
Okay, so Ragnar, if you want to rebuttal anything, you also could choose just not to rebuttal, but saying nothing might have consequences.
If you choose not to say anything, I'll jump in. But if you're gonna say something, I'll up to in another point.
Okay. I will counter that by saying, but what if it was in someone's favor? What if the seemingly fair event was never fair to begin with? It isn't fair. Imagine that.
Some murmurs around the crowd, and I'm assuming this is when you want your
Yeah.
evidence to show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone.
At this point,
like
approaching from the
Mr.
crowd,
Hobbs.
Hobbs, and Hobbs actually does come and say, "It is true. Neref has been taking bribes from individuals, and I must confess that in my dire need to survive, I was one of them. But make no mistake, if he is willing to do such a dastardly thing to begin with, he does not have the best interest of Targos in mind." And I will say, Ragnar, I will give you the chance to make a persuasion check with a +2 modifier.
All right. Come on. 16?
Okay. DC's small right now.
Yeah.
So you already see with this key evidence, this key witness coming to the stand, already the crowd is starting to get swayed in your direction, which you can clock right away Nerif is not happy with. Nerif kind of adjusts themselves. Well, let me say this then. You come with accusations. You come with this man to say and to critique my character. If you are all looking for replacements, then the ones that you seem to all be considering are far past their prime. Sure, they might have wisdom, but how long will they be able to carry the burden of responsibility as its weight begins to take its toll on both mind and body? You must understand that Icewind Dale is not kind to anyone. And more murmurs around the crowd at this time, if you would like to respond.
It may not be kind for the weak-minded, but for Helen or Hobbs right here, they are not weak-minded. Take Helen, for example. Retired adventurer, battles, under her belts, and best interest in the townsfolk's best interests at heart. What's to say the townspeople couldn't be her? And Hobbs.
Okay.
He might have been morally gray, so to speak. But after his encounter with the cold-hearted killer, he still, knowing fully that he might be killed by this man, and I point to Nereth, he's still willing to take his stand today. I think that also shows his character.
I will say for that, specifically how you word it, you give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Yes. Come on, please be good.
Natural
fucking
20.
Yes, when it counts. Yes.
That's really good. All right, Ragnar's really killing it with the persuasion here. All right. And more of the crowd begin to murmur, and you see that they are, especially with that natural 20, they are being swayed to your side. They are questioning Nerf's motives. They are questioning Nerf's character. They're questioning everything, and it seems like almost like 70% of the people inside this room right now are on your side. And you see just little sweat drops begin to form on Nerf's forehead as this conversation is not going the way he wants. And the last thing he says, "It seems that Targos has great trust in you. You roll into town without a care in the world, and through the kindness of their hearts, you suggest to change leadership? I think it's time that we address the backgrounds of some of these new heroes. Ragnar here seems to actually have ties to a little group known as the Arcane Brotherhood. A fact that he probably hasn't brought up to anyone in town. And for those who want the short version, this group of mages, wizards, and sorcerers all serve one thing, and its own self-interests. He may be offering his services now freely, but it will come with a price. And then there is this so-called Dancer in the Dark. She is a former Reggae tribe member who's being hunted by them to this day. Whatever crime that she has done to piss off these groups of savages must be quite severe. Even now, as we give her room and shelter, we could face this tribe's wrath. If more bloodshed is what you seek, then by all means, continue to support her. I provide one thing that everyone seems to have forgotten: stability. Balance must be maintained in order for us to survive. Icewind Dale is cruel, and sometimes cruelty is necessary so we may live to see tomorrow. So, people of Targos, I ask that you choose a path that leads to survival, not ruin."
Can I respond to that?
Yep.
You want to go? You go first.
Yeah.
You go first. I'll go after.
As he calls out to our backgrounds, Bree kind of just then replies with, "Well, that is true. I come from the tribe of the wolf. I do understand that the history of our tribe does not bode well for those in the 10 town. I understand that completely. From my wanderings and my adventures around these towns, I've truly understood the difference between my people and those that live here. However, I just wish if we were to point out the backgrounds of those that wish to talk about the unfairness here, then I wish to talk about the background of the victim, the aggrieved. Calvin." And then I start telling his story as he told me. I don't know the entire details. He's a man of the cloth, a simple man, where just one day his life was now put on the line. As Mr. Hobbs mentioned, he was through a bribe, through fear, Calvin was now put up to the guillotine to be taken away. That could be any one of us, any one of you. And I then say, and I understand these talk about changing of leadership, I think puts people at unease. Just know that not one single person will make an entire town survive. It's every single person. It's the community around here. For my clan, now that I see this, we survived the cold not because of one man's leadership, but because of everyone's work. The hands of those that collect wood for the fire, to fish for food. Every pair of hands contribute to survival. And whoever becomes leader here, it does not matter. For if it is everyone here knows that they want the best for Targos, then whatever path that you choose, will be the best it can be.
All right. That is a persuasion check with advantage.
Nice.
Persuasion with
Yeah,
advantage.
advantage.
24.
Nice, 24.
24. Oh, you guys are killing it.
Nice.
And
now-
you get the sense that most of the crowd. Oh, you can also say something too, Ragnar, if you want to. I
Yeah,
will.
you can
go
describe
for
it first, then I'll continue.
I will say that like the crowd is like what Nara thought was going to be his trump card, that thing that would turn the people of Targos against you. It's not really having an effect. They still stay strong with supporting you and with your words cut true, with truth. And they kind of nod in agreement as you finish what you say, Bree.
Alright.
And I'm assuming you wanted to say
Yeah, I'll
something,
continue.
Ragnar, as well.
Yeah. So, my identity seems to have been revealed. Yes, I am part of the Arcane Brotherhood. And yes, Arcane Brotherhood is now known for its good fame. That one is for sure. However, has any one of you has any interest in dragon lores, in anything in magical beings? I suspect not. I suspect you are just a bunch of people who want to survive this harsh land, which, as you very well may know, arcane brotherhoods are only after magical means, and you guys are practically not in my sight. All right, that makes you and I compatible. And speaking of backgrounds reveal, why not tell them, the good townsfolk, who you really are, Nerith? Who your background is? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our good townsfolk is actually a Zentran. You see, the Black Network, that should be a bigger threat to the townspeople. They bribe, they blackmail, they kill, they murder, they assassinate, all for their own gain. To gather wealth, to gather connection.
As
So, yeah.
Ragnar is saying this, I'm gonna drop like my 100 gold onto the table that was given to me.
Yeah.
And I'll say, where on earth could we have gotten this sum of money in this small town of yours?
Oh, that's an interesting way. That's really smart, Eden. I like that a lot.
Yeah. When Eden does that, I kind of pick up on it. I'm like, oh, I dropped my 100 gold as well onto the table. To show even more that it's more than just 100.
Yeah.
You know, like
This isn't a verbal boss battle. This is a verbal stomp.
Yeah.
This is all of the evidence, all being pointed towards him. Narif is speechless. Whatever form of like rebuttal that he had that he was going to say is like lost on him.
Yeah.
And that's when very nervously Tally kind of like grabs your shoulder, Eden, and kind of like looks for like an encouraging nod to say what she wants to say.
Hey girl, you can do it!
So she looks and opens up her little notebook, and she says, I'm not a great speaker or anything, but I'm going to try. People of Targos, right now you've heard two sides of the story. However, right now I want you to think about what you want, or more importantly, what Targos can be. So many people these days in Icewind Dale and the 10 towns have been beaten and bruised by the viciousness of the Frost Maiden. We've gotten so used to how things have to be that we haven't once questioned what can. I must admit, I understand this feeling. For the longest time, I just thought that this was something I could ignore. I thought that maybe if I just avoided it, I could be happy with what little I was allowed to have. I saw that being a bystander as these cruel things continue to happen is not right. Nerif talks about all the bad things that can happen if he's pulled from power. He's not once talked about hoping for a better Targos, hoping that we could change. For those who say we can't, then look at this. And she pulls her notebook out, and you see sketches of a very familiar Longneck. In the town of Bremen, there was a lake monster. It was feared by all the fishermen. Everyone agreed that the only option was to kill the beast. Brandon, Ragnar, Bree, Ydin, they found a way to convince the beast to not only stop attacking the town, but instead help it. A creature born under such violent circumstances, desperate to survive, found a way to be better. Even those born under a violent star, despite being so fragile, have the strength to change. Anyone can change their nature. So I ask you people of Targos, please give yourself a chance to prove that things can be different, that change is not out of our reach. And then she very nervously kind of sits back down in her chair.
We want change.
Yeah.
We
want change. We want I do tap her and just say, well spoken. Well said.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And Nerif is in disbelief, and you see for a second Nerif seems to be reaching for something, and in a outburst he says, "You do not understand what I am capable of. You would all be," and before he can even finish his sentence, Scaff, who's been standing right next to him, takes his sword and knocks him
Oh my god.
unconscious.
No.
Really? Dang,
Yeah.
okay.
go.
Let's go.
You were not only persuading the crowd, you were also persuading Scaff.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Is Scaff like has he lived here? Is this like his home or not really? Is it he went
Well,
a long way
he
now?
mentioned he was from Luskin.
Okay.
But
No.
you also get the sense that, I mean, honestly, I would say in this moment, you can all make insight checks
All right,
on
insight.
Scaff.
Come on. 21.
Time.
21's huge.
Nice.
What?
Ooh, natural
Hey.
20. Nice.
Natural 20.
Honestly,
19.
oh, everyone's killing it. All right, so you all pick up that number one, Scaff was kind of persuaded by you guys freaking killed it in the public speaking with this crowd. And he kind of agrees with a lot of what you're saying. And also, he's smart enough to realize Nerif's done after the today. Like, there's no coming back from that verbal beatdown. So he's like, I'm gonna go side with the winning side right now.
Oh, okay.
So it's a mix. It's a mixture of
Smart.
both.
Be smart. Be smart.
Yeah.
Be smart.
Yeah, you have to also think of it this way. He's smart. That doesn't necessarily mean he's like a fully changed man, but you get
He's
the sense
siding
it's a
with the winning
combination of
part. Yeah, we totally
he's siding with the winning party, but you also Ydin with that natural 20, you know that he also kind of agreed with a lot of what you had to say.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
So as well done, guys. So as Nerif is knocked out, the town begins to rustle, discuss what they want to do next, and the conversation of who will be the next town speaker is immediately brought up. So this is your opportunity to give out suggestions. To not say anything at all is entirely up to you.
Brandon is going to suggest Hobbs.
Well, Ragnar is gonna say he was gonna go with Helen, but you were like, say, I trust people of Targos knows who's their best town speaker. Thus, I believe the vote is in your hand. So please vote for it.
There's a little bit of discussion, and then Hill walks over and
13 to try to persuade them for Hobbs from a boy.
Oh, okay. Honestly,
I will try.
something else actually happens.
Okay.
I would say because here's the thing, Hill also didn't really say too much during that, and Hobbs actually took the stand.
Okay.
I would say in this particular scenario, Hobbs seems like he's gonna say something, and Hiln pats him on the back and says, "Well, you're gonna need an advisor, and to be
Oh,
honest,
Oh,
you're gonna need a little bit of experience from old Granny here." And he kinda, like, just, like, and punches Hobbs in the gut a little bit. It's like, ow, 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 ow.
nice.
And you do see Hobbs say, "Dear message, Brent." Hobbs does say to the townspeople, "We all have the opportunity to change, and I promise that I will, along with everybody here, make Targos better." And there's a bit of clapping, there's a bit of cheering. You just see Neref's unconscious body on the floor.
I'm gonna start dragging him to the
Everyone's like ignored him at this point.
Yeah. At this point, actually, is Calvin here?
Yeah.
Calvin's still in his jail cell, not at the moment.
Yeah.
Because remember, depending on how this was gonna go, there would have been a lot of things happening. The only thing I will also say, and this is because this is like very passive perception and stuff like that. Those 4 individuals that you fought were shifty they're gone.
No, we're out.
Okay.
They saw Neref get the verbal beatdown, and they were like, "Absolutely not. We're not dealing with this."
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try to tie Neris up. And to make sure, because he's reaching for his pouch, so I'm gonna, search him, pat him down to make sure he doesn't have anything dangerous on him.
Yeah. While that's happening, DM, this is just something really symbolic for the town. I kind of want to grab Calvin from the cell and
Yeah.
Okay.
like while they're
Yeah.
kind of,
Got
you
it.
know how like what's his name? Hobbs is kind of like making a bit of a speech. I want to make sure he apologizes publicly of what happened.
Mhm.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yep. And honestly, he does. He does kind of like explain the situation. He takes accountability, which is probably part with some of the conversations you had, Bree, with Hobbs. He does give acknowledge like a nod to Brandon about the Torga situation, but he feels a little bit more confident that with the people in the town like supporting him. And honestly, even with Hilns as an advisor, he might be able to manage that in a way that's not where he's in a puppet situation.
Yeah.
And honestly, honestly, you just agreed to get a person who knows about the deal. It's kind of on Torga to kind of have to figure that part out.
All right, I'm gonna actually stealth out. Can I slip out quietly?
Yeah, sure. You make your way out. Also, out of hilarity, Ragnar, as you're tying up the unconscious body of Neref, I want you to just make a dexterity saving throw.
The fuck?
Uh-oh.
All right.
Was it like
Oh,
some sort of
boy.
grenade?
Well, whoops.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god!
So as you go to tie him, 3 flying snakes burst out of his coat pocket.
Alright.
You know, the ones in his picture.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And one of them bites you for 1 point of damage.
Hold
What the
on.
hell?
I'll use my reaction to shield so he doesn't bite me.
Oh, okay, fair
Okay,
enough.
okay.
Okay, he bites the shield, and the snake immediately flies away.
I will kill it. I guess it's dangerous. Don't want to lose on the wild.
Yeah, as everyone starts panicking
Yeah.
and stuff.
I mean, it's not like these are flying snakes. They're
No, I
they've got like
I
2
have
hit
magic.
points.
I can blow it up, so I don't see the
Yeah.
problem.
I will say, like, you don't even need to roll.
Yeah.
You dispatch these flying snakes,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yes, and Brandon is taking full advantage of this to just slip
Stealth
out.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Man of his bulk can move pretty quietly when he wants to, surprisingly. And while they're doing that, I'm gonna make my way over to Torga's place.
Okay. So we'll say for the purposes of this, you quickly make your way out. This is happening during like
The mid. Yeah.
mid of like bringing Hobbs over and
Yeah.
and the public
Yeah.
apology. So you go over to Torga's place.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Torga.
Okay.
Is she there?
Yeah, she's still at her caravan.
All right, I'm gonna go over to Torga. I'm going with my stealth check, and I like appear like right behind her.
You know what? Sure, I'll allow that.
Yeah, so I'm
Torga's
just
like,
gonna appear
"Ah!"
behind her. I'm
She
going
kind
to
of like
say,
falls off of her little stool into the snow.
Yeah. It's done.
All right. So who's the head honcho?
Hobbs, with Hiln as an
Alright.
advisor.
All right, I can work around that. All right, well, that's what I wanted. I wanted somebody who knows about the deal, and I'll work my magic to do the rest. I'll make sure to get your shipment of bison armor over to Caer Koenig as soon as I
Yes.
can.
With a bit of
Um,
luck, it works out for everyone. You have someone amendable to you. Hiln will make sure you don't take too much advantage of the townspeople in their time of poverty and need. And you get the chance to make a tidy profit here. There's no customer like a captive customer, after all.
Well, I best be on my way then. Got a lot of work to do.
Of course.
Take
Just a
care
bit
of
of
yourself.
advice. Bit of advice. Do not take my family for a bunch of bumbling bumpkins.
And as she starts to pack up and make her caravan, the sled dog, she does say, I don't think I will ever underestimate you again, Brandon Snowwind. She makes her way
Yep.
into the snowy wilderness of Icewind Dale.
Okay.
Brandon is just going to nod and then slip back into town for the celebration.
And there is quite a celebration.
Yes.
And you all begin to like really come to terms with completing this part of your journey.
Yes.
I'm so sorry to be a bit of a downer for this, but I am gonna whisper, like I'm gonna gather like the group, right? And
Mhm.
probably Hobbs, maybe. I don't know. I just kind of look at Hobbs and I just say that. Since it seems like you are going to be leading the town now, Hobbs, it is your choice, and something I wish to remind you: something still needs to be sacrificed. Doesn't have to be anyone. It just has to be something.
Well,
He kind of thinks for a moment and he says, we will sacrifice. I mean, if now that I understand, it's annoying, but it's doable. Surviving on less food is a possibility. So we will make a
Oh, hey,
sacrifice
you-
of.
From it.
Yeah.
Hey, he went through it.
He went
Cinema.
through it. Yeah.
Cinema.
It kind of all comes together. So
Yeah.
he's going to make the new thing for the town is that they are going to sacrifice food to the Frost Maiden, and that's what
Nice.
they intend to do. Hobbs has not decided what he wants to do with Nerith. It is
Well, we'll take him.
most.
We'll take
Oh,
him off
you
your hand.
do? Are you gonna just bring him out the back and shoot him?
Yeah.
Like what?
Oh yeah.
No.
Well,
No.
you're not
Information
here.
We can use.
You're not here.
You know
Yeah,
what?
that's
You know
true.
what? I will
That's true.
leave Nerif's fate to your judgment party.
Wait, Falcon, you were saying?
I was gonna say he might have some knowledge we could use, but if you want to just take him out back and
Well, not
shoot
shoot him immediately, but definitely, like, grind him out of his knowledge. That's for sure. But yeah,
Hmm.
For a
and
few
then
minutes,
shoot him.
know.
You know?
Well, the thing is, Bree is actually gonna abstain from, you know,
This conversation.
Yeah.
yeah, Bree doesn't sit well with these type of conversations.
No, it's
So-
fine. Like, you can absolutely
Yeah, y'all.
not be a part of this.
Yep, you guys
Outside of
decide.
mine,
Like Bree understands that he has done wrong, but Bree just values life in general. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I value
But,
life
yeah,
in general as well.
I value life.
And not for the evils, but yeah, in general.
Also, you'll have to have a conversation about the reveal that Ragnar is part of the Arcane Brotherhood, but that's a conversation for another.
Yeah, that's a next session conversation. That's not a current session conversation.
All right.
Listen,
Well,
we haven't returned to camp yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
mhm.
Exactly. So, what I will say this, Viren is actually probably going to be making his way out. So I'll say, Ydin, if you want to say goodbye to Viren, we will do that. And then, but I think we'll do that at the end. We'll do that. That will be the very last thing. So Brandon and Ragnar, you two can go and have a little interrogation moment.
Oh,
with,
since I'm not doing anything either, can I accompany Eden if you don't mind?
absolutely.
Eden? I can say
Absolutely.
goodbye as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll say Bree and Eden are doing that,
Hold
and
on, let me
Ragnar and
check
Brandon are
something. All right. Okay, I haven't dealt damage to it, so I will say
Yeah,
I
okay.
cast suggestion when I wake him up.
Oh, you.
Okay.
On
I have to
the
actually get
dude.
his. I gotta get his fucking
I posted it.
character sheet out.
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second.
That's why I took
That's
the
It's a
spell.
wisdom save, right?
Yes, and my DC will be. Hold on, I will boost this up. It was 15 with the magic item. I will boost this up with innate sorcery, to make
Mhm.
it DC 1 higher, so 16. And then I will
So
let's
Mhm.
see. I will make the spell a level higher by twin spell lid, so that its level will be higher. So I guess will that increase the difficulty? Let me check. I don't see suggestions casting a higher level do anything. Maybe not.
I think it allows you to target more people.
Yeah, so no. So probably just using innate sorcery.
Okay. Interestingly enough, despite everything, he did roll a 16. So he does have some fight in him quite left. And all he's really gonna say to you two is he says, "Well done. Well fucking done."
I'll cast it again. I'll force it out of him if I could. I don't
God
give a
damn
shit.
All right,
Again,
fine.
16.
He rolled a 17.
Oh,
I have one more. I don't give a shit.
Oh my god, you're
Yeah,
just
I will
like
burn
mind
through my
blast, mind
spell
blast,
slots to do
mind
it.
blast. All right,
Yeah.
last attempt. This might be the one.
Yeah.
Okay, he rolled a 3. Okay.
Okay.
But you did have to blow through all your spell
Yeah,
slots
it's
to do that.
fine. We're not in need.
All right. So what is the suggestion you're looking for?
Okay. I'm just describing the concept I was gonna go for. So I want him to tell me all his secrets, like leave nothing behind. Like everything he knows about his network, everything he knows about, especially the part with Arcane Brotherhood, and everything he knows about, everything he has about his, private stash, whatever. Yeah, just every little secrets, leave no details behind. That's it.
I am curious how I want to play that
Yeah.
because I feel like he might know something in this particular circumstance.
Yes.
You know what? I am going
It's up to your
to
judgment.
action.
So.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
I'm going to give you some information
Okay. Cool.
because I think it would be a pretty cool reveal on how you got
Yeah.
this. So, one is that obviously he's Zentrum, right?
Yep.
He talks about how he has spies in a multitude of locations. However, even in his charmed state, he points out that these spies are probably not going to be there for long. The moment that they hear that he basically got
Dethroned.
kicked off the
Yep.
town speaker role, they are no longer. It's no longer worth being here anymore. You do know that he definitely wanted to set up a foothold for the Zentrum to basically have a massive influence over Icewind Dale. That was kind of like his main goal.
Yep.
And if he had succeeded, then he would have had a lot more of the town speakers in his pocket, but that never came to be. He did do some investigating. So he does know that Bree is part of the Ragged Wolf tribe. And that he doesn't know why, but he does know that they are hunting her down for some reason. What that reason is, he couldn't say. He was just hoping that he could use that to his advantage. The last thing that he gives you is that he talks about knowing the members of the Arcane Brotherhood that are in Icewind Dale.
Ooh, okay. Nice. That's what I
And
need.
one of them, well, actually, no, there's 3 of them actually are familiar.
Holy shit. Okay.
One is a woman named Valyn Harper. I'll copy paste that
Alright,
into
cool. Thank you.
the chat. And she was the one who actually recruited you into the Arcane Brotherhood. The other one is there's apparently a Typhlin woman named Avarice.
Okay.
Details about her are very little, but this is the first time you've actually heard that name. The other name that you recognize right away is Dazan.
Oh,
Oh.
The old the
human
wizard
wizard.
looking guy that Brandon is familiar with. So
oh,
that
part of the
name
Arcane
comes up.
Brotherhood?
So Dazan is part of the Arcane Brotherhood.
Ah.
That might be a couple things that might there's some eyebrows raised for sure.
Hold on, wait. What were the other 2?
Valyn Harper and Avarice. I put them into
Yeah.
the Roll20
No. I
chart.
mean, like, these 3 people are.
Arcane Brotherhood members.
Arcane
yes.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So these 3 roll Arcane Brotherhood, and the
Valen
only
is
other
my
one
mentor. Is it he
that
or she?
she, Valyn Harper.
So a human woman?
Human, you don't know what field of magic she does.
Okay. I probably would, right?
You know what? I
little
would
bit.
say,
Yeah.
I would say you actually have an inkling. You
Yeah.
get the sense that she's a necromancer.
Oh, okay.
And then the last name, which you do recognize, is your rival, Claudia,
Oh,
Dang.
okay.
who was recruited under similar circumstances in your hometown.
Okay. So, do I have any knowledge of this woman? She's a human? Like,
Claudia?
mm.
Claudia is a tiefling.
Okay.
So Avarice and Claudia are tieflings, Dazan is a human, and Valyn is a human.
Okay, so anything else do I know about this Claudia? Because I was in the same.
You know what she looks like.
Okay.
Actually, I think I might have a picture of her. We'll move.
All right. Let's see.
Don't mind that. I'll fix that in a second.
It's fine. It's fine. Is it in the Roll20, I believe?
Okay. I can reveal the whole map now. Look at that.
Nice.
All right, and next to Torga's picture, you should see
Okay,
a
yeah, I
tiefling
see
woman.
her right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And this one right here.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, I saw
Claudia?
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is also a
Necromancer?
wizard of some sort. You
Okay.
don't know her school of magic though. She
Okay.
kept that hidden from you. You just know that like Valyn was recruiting people to join the Arcane Brotherhood, and the 2 people that she deemed worthy of her time were you and Claudia.
Okay. So
Um,
what's her characteristic? Villain and Claudia. What's their?
She's very sassy.
Okay.
That much you know about.
Okay.
And she's definitely has a bit of a personality that's like she kind of thinks she's better than a lot of people.
So villain.
Uh,
Okay. Got it.
A little bit villainous. To what
No, I
extent
mean,
you don't know.
Villain, she's sassy. My mentor, she's sassy, and then Claudia.
Oh, are you talking? Oh, sorry, Oh, I see. Villain Harper is much more pragmatic.
Oh, okay. Pragmatic.
Claudia is the
Claudia's
sassy
the
one.
sassy one. Okay, got it.
Yeah. I will probably give you more details. We can discuss that next
Later.
session
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Claudia.
Got it.
But that's the information you extract from Nerif. And it's around this point that Brandon's looking at you, Ragnar, like, are we good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your stash? Where's your stash? Like I said, no details
Oh,
behind.
money wise, you also learn that even in his charm state, he's happy to report that whatever money is probably being seized by Hobbs to distribute as town funds.
Oh,
So
okay.
you are probably not going to be getting his gold anymore,
Okay.
as much as you
Brandon.
would love that.
All right. If
Brandon's
that's the case.
under his head, just nods.
If that's the case, I'll put him out of his misery by burning him alive, I guess. Yay.
Damn.
So, well, that's my question. Are you gonna like Brandon? Are you gonna do the coup de grace, or is
No,
Ragnar
I'll
gonna
put
do
my
it?
I was
hands on
actually
his
going to
face.
put my hand on him. I was going to say,
Yeah.
perhaps perhaps the Frost Maiden would accept him as a sacrifice.
We don't do sacrifice anymore, but I'm happily to put him out of his misery, and bam, just like that, and he burns from the inside
All right,
out.
yeah.
Yep.
So at that point, I'm just going to let him have it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, no rules required. Outside of the town of Targos, I like the idea that you did this on the lakeside.
Yep.
You just light his body ablaze, and as he screams the final villainous wail of Nereth, he falls into one of the icebergs, and his burnt corpse remains just kind of floats into the lakeside to be swallowed whole by the Frost Maiden,
Nice.
whether intentional or not.
All right.
But as that is going on, Ydin and Bree, you are basically walking with Viren, and Viren is making his way outside of the town. And Viren goes, well, I'm glad that all worked out in the end, I guess.
You sure you can't stay for the celebrations?
Yeah, you know me, Ydin. I'm not a big celebration kind of guy. It's better this way. I got stuff to do, and I gotta start making my way east before God knows what else happens.
You know,
Let me give things a chance. I hope you do one day.
Yeah, one day. And what were you gonna say, Bree?
I just look at the Very and I'm just like, very rarely do I speak of my age and my experiences. However, I do say that you keep going where you keep trying and you keep wandering without really taking a chance to really see what's around you. You're gonna miss everything in your life.
He kind of thinks for a moment how to respond. You think he was going to say something snarky, but he just decides to hold his tongue. And he just says, well, some of us have missions, and I've got things I have to get done before I can start thinking about other things.
Well,
I
And
respect that.
and all he will say as he leaves and he puts on the mask, he just says to you, Ydin, just don't get yourself killed, all right?
Wait, one hug?
He's like, I don't, and you immediately hug him. He's like, "Ugh." And he does pat you on the back, although he doesn't like showing hugs in front of Bree. But he does pat you on the back, and he says, and remember, if you see that frost giant, what do?
Try to take it on.
God damn it. And he's just gonna start walking away. And with that, you and Bree...
before that, I
yeah.
walk beside them, and like as we watch Viren walk away, I just gonna say that I know how hard it is to say goodbye to your lover.
Lover!
Oh,
No, he's not.
No. Oh,
No.
are you sure?
Yes. We've grown up together.
Oh. All right. Well, I write that down in my sketchbook to remember.
He has been
Sorry.
friend zoned.
I do kind of just say like, well, with the way you're acting, I thought you were, huh, Maybe I'm
You're
just not
close.
socially as. Yes, you did. You did seem very close.
Very
Well, either way,
close. Just he's not my lover.
Oh, all right then. Well, my apologies on the assumption then.
No worries. He is a very handsome man.
You are quite right there. You know, if you do
See.
end up being together, I think it would be a fine choice.
You see also Tally is hiding around the corner. Going, going. Name the kid Brandon too. But you obviously hear Tally snicker a little bit but then you also realize that she's been spotted.
Yeah.
And she's well, at any rate, I have some good news. I might have a lead that we could maybe follow.
A
Lead
lead?
for the Frost Maiden?
Well, yeah, I was thinking, you know, we've been seeing all those awakened beasts, right?
That we have been. I remember Elkin
Bling.
and Bling. Elkin Bling.
Yep. I'm not forgetting that name anytime soon. Tally does say that, well, he did say that he was awakened in Lonelywood, and who knows, maybe this druid knows something about the Frost Maiden.
Mayhaps.
I
We
mean,
should tell the rest of the group.
Yeah, we can discuss it. We don't have to go there, but it might be worthwhile.
Well, today we can probably talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think a lot's happened today. And as you all return to the town of Targos, a tyrant defeated, and so much more, we will be ending today's session. But you will be earning another spirit point.
Yeah.
You were fishing us, dude. I was already.
I'm not giving you levels up quite yet. I've seen how much damage you can do. I'm gonna temper
Dang
off
it.
on the gas.
You're only
Dang it.
delaying the inevitable, boss man.
Oh no, I know. I'm terrified of what's to come, but I also like the fact that like if there's like an appropriate like completion of like a side quest or a story beat, I can give out spirit points versus giving out levels.
So we can't mumble too hard. You
got
DM you.
Honestly, you guys did a lot of work, and those speeches and that persuasion. Oh, that was so good during the town hall. That was fantastic.
Honestly, I feel like the final nail of the coffin was like, so yeah, where did we get this 100 gold in our pouch? That was just like, that's a actual nail in the coffin.
I think, Eden, you bringing that up, I was like, oh yeah, I guess that is technically proof that you can use against him.
Well,
And also
it could have
that-
been that it came from
Mhm.
outside of the town, but like,
After
Well,
after all of
paved
that,
the
it was a
way,
perfect
and
setup, you know.
nailed the
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
It is what
It's
it
a team
is.
effort.
But it was a team effort for
Yeah.
sure.
no.
But yeah, so next time we will probably be heading over to Lonelywood, depending on where you guys want to go. But
Let me
that
look
is
at.
definitely-
Can you show us the map again? Like.
Oh
so
yeah,
we know.
sure, of course.
Because if ever the other thing, like now the party knows as well, is like Bree is trying to head east to look for where her ambush happened centuries ago. So yeah, that could be just
Well,
added.
here's the good news. If you do decide to, because you can actually take a shortcut to Lonelywood, which is right here.
This
By
is
taking a
Lonelywood,
boat.
right? This is Lonelywood.
Lonelywood is specifically where my arrow's pointed, right here.
Yeah. So okay, got it.
Because Tourmaline is right here,
Okay.
and Lonelywood is right there. But you could take a boat, and considering you're friends with the lake monster, you could probably get there really easily
Can
if you
we
just
ride
take a
him?
boat from Targos.
Is that possible?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Okay.
And also, technically, you got to try out amphibious peanut, which, by the way, I have made I have made tokens actually. I guess I'll mention this just before we end the session. So the hilarious thing is that so this is this token right here is amphibious
Oh
peanut,
my goodness.
and hilariously
The
the holy cow
Oh yeah.
Oh my
um,
goodness.
is there. But the hilarious thing is that the holy cow is small size, so he's about the size of a halfling.
Why?
So because that's how the DMG rules it, and to be
okay.
perfectly honest, I think the reason they did that is because of how busted flying can get. So I
Yeah.
think I'm fine with you having a small,
Nice.
because realistically the small flying companion,
Yeah.
how dare they make him size small. He's more meant for scouting, not so
Yeah.
much
I
riding.
don't want my peanut to be pocket-sized.
He's not pocket size. He's just he's dog
He's pant
size.
size.
Yeah, pet size.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun-sized.
Fun sized.
Fun
But,
size. Yeah. Fun size peanut.
Nice.
Oh, I don't like that at all. But yeah, no. So next session we'll talk about where you guys want to go next. There's a bunch of side quests to do, and Tally's giving you a suggestion.
Oh, I
But,
finally have
but yeah.
dark vision. Thank God.
You wait. How do you have dark vision?
With your spirit point. Thank you very much.
Oh, right.
Yes, dark vision. Here I come.
Damn it! I liked it when the party only had one dark vision. I got
Yeah,
the
you
fuck
like
with
to
you guys
leave
a
us
lot
in the
more.
dark, huh?
So now we won't get any more hand holding with Bree. Aw.
Well, that can be arranged. I can still.
Darn.
fake
That
it
can be
out.
arranged?
Alright,
Hello?
Very quick. For the thing, I need what's the PDF so I can figure out what my spirit point thing gives
hold on.
me.
Negative.
Let me just add it. Hold on.
I think it's in
It's in
the
Discord.
it's in the
I'll just
Discord
add
chat. I will try and actually upload it to Roll20.
Can you
when
pin
I
them?
can.
Yeah, I'm
I was just
gonna
say pin them
Hold
if you
on.
can in Discord.
Yeah.
so we can
Oh,
just
the
look at that.
message.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
This is what happens when y'all are posting memes all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, that ain't the problem. Hey.
Hold
Don't
on.
hate the player, hate the game.
I'm just
We're making
saying,
free
if
content over
if
here.
if y'all wanna hold Bree's hand, y'all have to fight her dead husband.
Well, the dead
Easy
husband needs
enough.
to
Create
fight
like
me
a
first,
resource
so, yeah.
thing.
Easy enough.
Hold on.
How do I pin? Aha! I have
Eden
pinned
is
the
a
message.
non-candidate for this. You already have Viren, okay?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have two hands.
I can hold your hand if you want to.
You know what? You make a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I am working next week, so we will probably pick up in 2 weeks' time. So
Got
got
it.
plenty of
Yeah.
time to consider that. And if you guys are available, I'm sure Falcon might have something planned as
Yeah.
well. If you guys
I
want to
have
try
the
that out.
Pokemon thing if you guys want to try it. If you
Yep.
guys are able to make it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I have to help Cherry with
I'm
with her
sorry, I
character.
haven't made one yet fully. It started, but like it's not done yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah. But thanks again. That was an awesome session. I hope everybody had fun
Great
with that.
sesh.
Awesome as
Yeah.
always.
But
Yep.
but yeah.
You
But
got
yeah,
our
if you guys-
payoff.
Yeah, you got the payoff. You got some really good RP moments. We got to hang out with Viren. And don't worry, Eden, you'll probably see Viren again at some point. I'm just
Yay.
I haven't decided when the return of Viren's going to be. But I will see. I have plans. There's a lot of stuff in Lonely Wood, so I do hope you go there. I'm not
Nice.
trying to sway you in a railroady direction, but there's a lot of stuff in Lonely Wood.
Nice.
I want to meet Miss Druid, right? Is she a druid?
Oh, the
I
auburn
want to
haired
meet
druid.
her.
Yeah.
Tucks her
Hold on.
behind my ear. Hello.
Just question.
Yeah.
Where? Because I recall we need to find the innkeeper's son, Hure, Korra's son.
Oh,
So
yes.
was he
That
in
is going to
Lonelywood?
be eastward.
Oh, okay.
Eastward. You
then-
don't know the town, but you definitely know they went east. And honestly, it sounds like Bree wants to go east anyway.
Okay.
So after you're done with Lonelywood, heading
Got
east
it.
is totally an option.
Cool.
Also, the other
Yeah.
thing is that the other thing I'm also considering is that I'm prepping for the inevitable. Let's go to Brandon's ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because but I'm gonna need time for that, considering the size of Brandon's freaking family.
Yes.
That would be a
Yeah.
hell to play. Yay.
Yeah, I'm just freaking planning a whole season of
Yeah.
Yellowstone over here.
Yes.
That would be awesome. Oh my god.
Anyway, but I do have to go, guys. But
Yeah.
awesome session.
Okay.
You take
Bye-bye.
care.
Game.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you for the game.
Goodbye, all.
Bye.
And good night.